You're listening to The Boxing Voice.
It's showtime! Welcome back, boxing fans.
Blood is good.
Blood is emotion.
Too much blood coming out of the eye.
Blood is a story, a drama.
Deep gas, blood pouring right into his eye.
Blood is what we want to see in terms of passion.
Blood streaming now from the cut in the eye, the nose, his mouth, his cheeks swollen, and he's still gone.
What we want is a bloody good fight tonight.
We have Heather, the Heat Hardy. Is this you?
This is me. I think I need to talk to you every night because you make me smile and blush over here.
Never been a lame-o, never been a lame-o. Yeah, I love the trip. I'm okay.
You're serious? You're serious? And that's the good thing about UK. That's why I can't hate on them guys, man. They love fucking boxing.
No fighters in England. They all bums.
Did you hear what this idiot just said?
Yo, son, you're gonna get your ass beat by Molina, son.
Are you fucking kidding me? He's overrated.
Do some pushes for me right now.
For the interview?
Yes. Let those good hands go. Get out of here, Burke. Go home.
BoxingVoice.com.
This is why we use the word sensation.
All right. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice. I hope that everyone that's tuning in today, if you didn't get your notification, but yesterday we were live. We did a special show in tribute to the Top Rank lawsuit against Al Haymon and his PBC series. So you can definitely catch that on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, or theboxingvoice.com. And while you're at theboxingvoice.com, definitely head on over to the affiliate sponsors page. Click on one of those links. You could get an Audible free sign up for an audio book, free 1 month sign up just by clicking on the link. Or you can head on over and click on the link to throw down fantasy boxing and play some fantasy boxing with Mario, James, and the rest of the guys and actually win some cash. Or you could definitely use our Amazon affiliate link and do your shopping through there and hook your boys up with a little kickback. Costs you absolutely nothing, but you splurge on your boys over here at the Boxing Voice. Listen, we got a jam-packed show, and that is not an understatement, okay? I mean that very literal. We have a lot of guests today, something that we don't normally do, but what are you going to do? You know, there's not really much boxing to talk about, so there is a pretty decent card on July 17th. And we decided to get all those guys on the show. So up first at 7:30, we're going to have Adam Lopez. Then at 8 o'clock, we'll have Derrick Webster. At 8:30, Antoine Douglas. And before I move forward, let me just introduce the hosts that are here as of now.
Remember me? I'm Stuart Little.
What's happening, Nesta?
Stu, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, I just want to say good show yesterday. Really enjoyed it. I was going to call in, but I was very tired, so I just listened to it in bed. And, you know, there's some good points made, but very pro Al Haymon. And really, I should have come on and put a bit of reality into the show. But, you know, it is what it is. The Boxing Voice is pro Al Haymon. And, like, you know.
Well, I don't know how you could say that when obviously James and Mario were not against it. Me and Beeb were obviously pro Haymon. You know, that's why this show is important, because it's a rotating panel. It's just a lot of people here, and then the callers themselves has their opinions. And at the end of the day, that's all that we're doing. We're debating boxing. You know, we got a lot of response on that show. A lot of people seen it already. A lot of comments. You know, a lot of people calling me a rider of some sorts, and I just don't understand. You know, one piece of important news that I want to deliver today is this, right? We have a deal with Strike Mario. Oh, excuse me. I'm fumbling.
It's me, Mario.
Yo, I just want to say that We will never ever do a Haymon dedication show. I got so much shit. Like, it's crazy. For the record, I don't think what he's doing is illegal. I think what he's doing there might be some like moral ethical questions, but I mean, it's not illegal. At least I don't think so. I'm not a fucking lawyer, but yeah, that was crazy, dude. I can't believe how bad people were hating and like death threats and stuff. Yo, I saw somebody who was like, yeah, I can't wait to see Ness. I swear to God, I'm just gonna set him on fire the moment I see him. I was like, whoa.
Where?
Like, on Twitter. They didn't tag nobody. I went in and typed in Ness and it came up. Oh no, you know what? Yeah, it was on Twitter.
Wow, that's a little scary. Listen,
it is harsh.
I don't get it. But this is again reason why I continue to back him, right? So Mario, we'll do some sort of an interview. Just engage me here, right? Fox Sport Deportes, they air whose fights at the moment?
Golden Boys.
Okay. Did you watch their card yesterday?
I did not. I have it on the DVR and I will watch it, but I did not know. Okay. And I didn't watch Mondays either.
Can you name 2 fighters without cheating on that card?
Well, that's a low blow, Ness, but no, I cannot.
Okay. Funny thing for me is I've watched Shabaransky. I know and seen Demetrius Ballard and Lamont Roach Jr. live, and I didn't watch this fight. Okay? I didn't watch it. These guys didn't draw me to my television set. I will watch it. It's on DVR, but I didn't watch it, right? But moving to the Haymon era, because I'm the rider. I just don't get it. I'm the rider. But a deal for Alexander Chavez Eliminator has been reached, Mario. And Tom Brown of TGB Promotions acting as Alexander's promoter, obviously, because we all know he doesn't have a promoter, even though he has Alexander the Great Promotions. But he is advised by Al Haymon, and as well as Osvaldo Rivera, who was there for KO International for Chavez, spelt with an S, from Argentina. And they made a deal that would produce a mandatory challenger for the 147-pound champion or titleist, Kell Brook. Okay? Mario, ask me where this fight is going to happen.
Where's this fight going to happen?
Fox Sports 1. So you see, I'm the rider because I'd rather side with the guy that on Fox Sports 1, I'm going to get Diego Chavez versus Devin Alexander. Now, look, I know they're going to say, oh, Ness, but if Haymon wasn't around, if he didn't steal the fighter, he would be on HBO. Are you positive, Mario, that Devin Alexander would have landed on another HBO card after consecutive losses?
I'm not at all. Not even a little bit.
Forgiving. Could we remember anybody else that had consecutive losses that kept coming back? Yeah, you're going to find a couple of greats. The Gotti, the Wars.
Gabe Rosado.
Yeah.
Gabe Rosado.
Okay, Gabe Rosado, you know. But did he get back-to-back? I don't know if he got back-to-back. Remember, he got the Triple G and he went to Showtime for the J. Leon Love. He didn't get back-to-back.
Well, and you'll remember this, that when Alexander fought Maidana, that was on HBO. This was right before the storm was coming in. I mean, you know, the writing was on the wall, but nothing was moving. And they actually had options on a few of Alexander's fights that they did not pick up at all. And so you don't even have to speculate. The answer is HBO did not put him back on. They would have if it was going to be the right fight. If you would have fought Amir Khan, you know, if you would have fought Floyd Mayweather, remember if Mayweather was mentioning his name back then?
Yeah.
All of that, then yeah, of course. But they weren't going to put Alexander as the A side, is basically your point. And it's not even an opinion. That's a fact.
Well, that's my thing. I'm going to side with the guy that's going to put a fight on September 26th at the Little Creek Casino in Shelton, Washington. No clue where that's at. Is this like, I don't know. Why is that there anyway? Devin Alexander, I just talked to him. We both know that he draws at least 10,000 in the Lou, and he gets no Lou. But whatever. This is going to be a Premier Boxing Champions card. It's going to be on Fox Sports 1. Again, I'm not siding with Haymon. I'm siding with what's better for the sport, man. better fights means more people watching. It's all is what I thought.
In the long run, Nez, is it better for the sport? Because there's only so many matches Haymon can make before he has to start dipping into other people's camps. And this is a problem here. We're not going to see the best.
But Stuart, he's playing nice. He's giving guys from the UK opportunities. Now he's dealing here with an Argentine promoter. I mean, what more do you want?
No, Ness is absolutely right. Oh, I'm sorry, Stuart. Go, Stu.
Yeah, he's giving the UK guys opportunities because he's got a little thing going with Eddie Hearn. But what happens when, look at Terence Crawford. I mean, there's a lot of fighters. I mean, he could fight, but he's not going to fight because, Crawford Garcia is never going to happen. I mean, I know you say, oh well, Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao happened, and and Russell Lomachenko happened, but apparently Arum and Haymon.
But Stuart, you see, I just think that you're jumping too far ahead. Is Garcia Crawford a super fight right now? Can't we at least build up to it and get upset that they're on the wrong side of the track?
That's fair.
I mean, right now Garcia's moving up, Stu. You're talking about a fight that it's not even possible. Like the kid can't even make 140, so Crawford Garcia is not happening now.
Let me ask Stuart a question.
No, wait, because I cut him off. And I apologize, Stu. So go ahead, finish up. I apologize, Stu.
I was just giving that as an example. In the future, there's going to be big fights that won't be made not because of weight, not because of anything else, but the fact is that Al Haymon is going to go his own way. I mean, he's having to do business here and there because he just, he's not at that power where he can call the shots like Don King was back in the day. But once he's got that power, then I got a feeling we're going to see. A change of quality in boxing, and it's going to be a shame really because you're not going to get the best fight and the best. You're going to get Haymon fighting a Haymon fighter.
Let me just jump in right here and apologize to everyone. I also forgot we got a super duper special guest at 9 o'clock. Jessie Vargas coming off his big fight with Timothy Bradley. He got that punch at the end of the night, right? So he has his his reasonings for demanding a rematch, and he's world ranked at 6. So I don't know how that happened. How's he world ranked at 6 at welterweight? Whoa. Okay, but we'll get him on anyway. We're gonna get him on. But now we have to go to.
You want the title shot at the big? He's not even ranked. What do you want the title shot at the big?
Crazy, man. Everybody keeps hating on PBC, man. Nobody wants to buy into it. It's not going away. You know what's so crazy? I got into this debate with somebody online, right, on Twitter, and you know who I'm talking about. And we're sitting there going back and forth. And I said to him, so do you think that they're going to actually win this lawsuit and PBC is going to go away? They're going to be no more. He said, no, they're not. They probably won't win, but the case still has merit. So why would you sue somebody if you're not going to win? Like, why would you admit that the case has merit? Who cares if it has merit? It doesn't matter. If they can't win the case, then the whole thing's irrelevant. Worst case scenario, what's going to happen? What's Haymon going to have to pay them some money or something? Are they going to stop PBC from being aired on the network? It's not going to happen.
Well, actually, the lawsuit is demanding for a temporary injunction to stop them from doing business at all. Because what they're saying is that the lawsuit is saying, and guys that did not listen to yesterday's spontaneous show, which was deemed and warranted it was needed. It was needed. But what we're talking about is the Top Rank versus Haymon lawsuit, and what they're saying, Beeb, is that he's operating at a loss to drive the competitors away, and that is monopolizing. And I guess according to some law, monopolizing is illegal. I didn't know. I just thought it was shrewd business practices. I'm being 100% honest. It could be where I come from. I'm from the inner city, but to me, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. I mean, he's buying up the real estate. He's buying up the real estate, and if you want to get more urban, he's got a better number. He's got a better number for the product, and he's giving it to the consumer at a cheaper price. So they're going to him. That's just the bottom line. Like, people are getting caught up in the fact that the numbers have gone down. What if the numbers settled from 4.8 to 2.4, right? Okay, it's supposed to be in more homes or whatever. We're supposed to do bigger numbers. But what about, do you think that somewhere there's some executive, Myra, that's going to say, because you brought this shit up yesterday, I think it was you or James, one of the two, but you think there's somewhere that they're going to say, you know what, women's volleyball is doing better than boxing. Let's eliminate it. We'll erase it from people's minds. No, 2.4 is always going to be a demographic. It's always going to be a good enough number for someone. If NBC says, you know what, we don't want you at PBC no more, what about CBS? What about Channel 5? What about 9? To someone, that 2.4 million is a lot to someone. I'm just saying.
HBO? To HBO and Showtime?
The HBO is a lot because they rarely get 2 million.
Full circle. Yeah, but I don't know. I think the degree of separation is there. I agree with Beeb fully. I agree with Beeb in the sense that it's dumb to not have merit, or to claim that this lawsuit has merit and to know you're not going to fully win. But at the end of the day, I believe in free market. I believe in a lot of different kinds of things. And if you want to sue someone, it's your right. If you want to tie up these legal, standings, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. But Ness's point has nothing to do with Beeb's point. Ness's point is that, yes, the lawsuit says that they want to stop PBC for a certain amount of time. Beeb's point is it's not going to work. And it's not going to work. What do they settle out of court? They pay him, $20 million, maybe? Not even. That's shot in the dark. I just want to know
how they're going to prove it. I want to know how they're going to prove it.
That's what this boils down to. They can't prove anything.
Because you know what wasn't said yesterday, and I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. You know what wasn't said yesterday? That at the end of the day, everything we read, all the information we told you guys to go and seek out, right? Mm-hmm. It's coming from the plaintiff.
Exactly.
Haymon is the defendant. So it's the plaintiff's job and the prosecutor's job to make the defendant, Al Haymon, look guilty. I mean, Ness, but look, he's saying his shrewd business practice. That's the plaintiff. That's his complaint.
Whether he's wrong or not is irrelevant because it's what can be proven.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line. I'm getting in arguments with people about, this is so bad, this and that, and this and that. It's the same thing at a job. You apply for a job and someone gets the job over you because they know somebody. That's nepotism. That's illegal. How can you prove it? You can't prove it. You can't prove it. This stuff, whether or not he's breaking any antitrust laws or not, how is it going to be proven? How is it going to be proven? There's so many ways. We haven't even heard his defense yet, just like Ness said. He's not an idiot, okay? He knows how to wiggle out of these things. And he's been doing it for a long time now. So, I mean, please, let's not count this guy out. I made the mistake of counting this guy out, and look what happened.
Yeah, but the good thing to come out of this is that whatever Al Haymon was doing, he's probably going to stop doing it now. And, that is a good thing, because if he's booking venues just to stop other promotions going ahead, then how is that good for boxing? It's not, And it's a bit like Bill Gates, controlling the internet with his Windows. I mean, no one else had a sniff while Bill Gates had that in the Windows contract. But obviously, people took him to court and they won. And there's the same sort of thing. Al Haymon is doing wrong for boxing, and people have got to accept that. You got to go by the law. And I believe he's breaking it.
Well, Stuart, what I'll say is head on over to iTunes, Stitcher, or TuneIn and listen to that episode. And everyone, can tune in onto that. But we have a jam-packed show. We're going to keep it moving. Everybody listening on YouTube, please hit the like, comment, or subscribe button, or all three. Hit us with a trifecta. And everybody that wants to call into the show, 646-478-3068. Make sure that you press 1. Do not attack me on Twitter and say, I was holding for 2 hours. And when I check your number, you didn't press 1. And remember, man, throw down fantasy boxing. Head on over, sign up. We have a little banner on our website. You could just head on over to theboxingvoice.com, click on that banner, and sign up to throw down fantasy boxing. The only place where you can definitely earn some money for your boxing knowledge is super important. Is Punch Stats. over there, so you might as well check it on out. Let me see. We got Adam Lopez at 7:30, so we got 10 minutes. I guess we should get into another little headline. It was something similar to what we were talking about, and we were talking PBC's ratings. Let's talk HBO's ratings and the fact that with the year halfway over, HBO owns 9 of the top most watched fights on premium cable in 2015. Number 1 being Canelo Alvarez versus James Kirkland, banking in around 2.146 million on May 9th. Remember that came right behind the Mayweather-Pacquiao mega fight replay. Vladimir Klitschko, Brian Jennings came in at 1.6. Miguel Cotto, Daniel Gill topping in at 1.5, very high, 1.589. Gennady Golovkin, Willie Monroe, 1.3. Brandon Rios, Mike Alvarado, 3, 1.2. Lucas Matisse, Ruslan, the war that it was, 1.2. Deontay Wilder, Bermain Stavern. Whoa, was that on HBO?
That was Showtime.
ESPN.
That was Showtime.
That was Showtime. Okay, we got a slip up here, but Deontay Wilder, Bermain Stavern brings in.
Oh no. It's the list is the 10 top premium fights in terms of ratings.
9 out of 10.
And HBO's 9 out of 10. So they're in the top 10. They have 9 of them. So Showtime got 1 in the top 10, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why he put that in there.
You know what has to be said? You know what has to be said about that? Deontay Wilder, Bermain Stavern, they were able to get in this list because they're heavyweights, and those guys they attract more casuals than anyone.
And that fight built up for so long.
Yeah, it was a good build up, and I like the all access. Sergey Kovalev versus John Pascal came in at 1.152. Timothy Bradley, Jessie Vargas topped in at 1.121, and Terrence Crawford, Delorme 1.004. So 9 out of the 10 most watched fights on HBO. Now, what I will say again, and they'll call me, Haymon Lapdog, is I must remind you guys that this is only premium networks. There's other numbers to add up. And again, this is the top of this past 6 months. And again, I don't want to keep rubbing it in, but there was more PBC fights in 4 months than this 6 months. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
People don't understand it, and they're not pay-per-view fights either. They're on free television.
Yep, free.
Can I just ask you guys a question though, quick, because I didn't get to say it yesterday. It's all well and good these fights happening, and it's good for boxing fans. I'm enjoying these fights, but when you have to connect the dots and look at business at the end of the day, how is this going to continue if there's no money coming back in? I mean, you can only keep taking so much from the pot before.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people on Twitter keep asking that. He's operating at a loss. He's lost 120 million. B, do you care how much money Al Haymon loses?
No, because I'm not invested in it. I didn't buy stock in PBC, but I also know it's called a paper loss because Al Haymon's not stupid. Just like that Showtime deal with Floyd, everyone was saying, "Oh, they're losing money. They're losing money. They're losing money." What happened? 2 years later, Canelo, Pacquiao. Haymon's got a plan, baby. I mean, he's not an idiot. This guy has been around, okay? He's not doing this to lose money long term. This is a paper loss in the short term, okay? And plus,
but my argument is,
wait, it's not all his money either. He's got people helping him out. There's investors involved in this. So, again...
Exactly.
So let's not worry about Al Haymon's fucking wallet.
I got a text message from our producer, and so I feel compelled to share it because it's such a great point. And he wants me to remind Ness that anything on NBC prime time is going to do a solid number. So let's just keep that in mind. This is
and I'm not arguing that, Mario. I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is that any network executive is going to value 2.4 million whatever.
So if it's doing so
you can get something better.
Hold on. You telling me what about Bravo Network or VH1? Listen, if they're doing
reruns of Law and Order, SVU get like 3 million views on USA during the afternoon.
Listen, I understand what series or things do big numbers. That's cool, but what I'm saying is There's networks like True TV that don't have anybody. That they would still pay for PBC, will they not?
I agree with you. Yeah, you're right. But are they going to have the kind of? Are they going to be able to produce the kind of income long term that NBC would? Because this is your point. Hal Haymon doesn't have to make money right now, and that's to you too, Stuart. He doesn't have to. He went into this knowing that he wasn't going to make money. It's about producing a product that is going to get consumers to come back. Then in 2 or 3 years, he can show people the demographics and the ratings and say, look, you want airtime on this show? It's going to cost you. Now, if he doesn't have those, well, then you're right. He can go somewhere else, True TV, he can go to Bravo, he can go to someone that's going to value that kind of rating because they don't do that during prime time. But ultimately, they're never going to be able to give him the kind of return that NBC, that he was banking on with network television. It's just not going to happen. And then he's not going to be able to give these fights.
You've got to have the fighters that are big draws to you know, continue this spending, and he hasn't got any big draws.
Well, that's why he's investing. Why do you think all the marketing is coming into play? Listen, we must move on because if they called us fanboys yesterday, what they're going to call us today? Let's go. There's a lot to talk about here on today's show, and there's a lot of guests. With 4 minutes up, let me see if we see Gina in the queue and queue her up. But listen, let's talk some HBO. Bradley Vargas, since we're having Vargas on today, they drew some pretty healthy numbers. I didn't think this would happen. $1 million, like, you know, I thought Bradley wasn't a draw, but I guess after post-Rules line, he's been doing very well for himself.
It's a solid number. It really is. I think that people have seen what Bradley can do on a regular basis now. His fights with Provodnikov, you know, Diego Chavez, I guess, wasn't like the most entertaining fight, but he's an exciting guy, and he's a great athlete, and he's a great fighter. He had to lead the way. Also, having him fight a Mexican wasn't that bad of an idea, I think. It was probably the perfect mixture for this fight to do these kind of numbers, and that's good for Bradley. I really hope that he you know, is able to come back stronger. I don't know, what kind of fights do you think, Beeb, would allow Bradley to produce similar numbers or even better, like that are available to him in reality?
With other potential opponents out there right now?
With Top Rank, obviously. Or I guess Golden Boy, too, because they're working together, so Golden Boy, Top Rank. Maybe Provodnikov, too?
I was about to say, yeah, a Provodnikov rematch would be an attractive fight.
I think so.
A Marquez rematch would be an attractive fight.
You think Bradley's too big for Matisse right now?
No, that would be a great fight. I still think that maybe a Kell Brook fight could be made with Bradley. I don't think.
You think so?
Sure, that would be a great fight.
That would be an awesome fight.
I think that would do well. And then Bradley is talking about moving up and fighting guys like Cotto. I don't know if Top Rank could do business with.
Hey, don't forget. He said Golovkin too. That crazy
Golovkin
guy.
too. Yeah.
That guy is nuts.
I don't know if Bob would do business with Cotto again. He seems pretty pissed, so that fight may not.
That's a good point.
So yeah, those fights would be okay. Pacquiao rematch. I don't know if that may be doable. I don't know. The rubber match possibly.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to see Pacquiao again? Really?
I mean, I do.
I wouldn't mind it. Again, he's still. You have to look at the division.
If he earns it, he earns it. In my opinion,
he's still at the top. I mean, he's still close.
Yeah, he is, but he's lost his spark for me. I mean, I just think he should retire. I don't know if I want to see him fight again. I mean, it was a pathetic effort what he put in against Floyd, whether he was injured or not. I mean, he waited 6 years for that fight and then performed like that. And I know Floyd Mayweather is a defensive genius and things like that, but it was a poor performance, and I just don't. I think it's probably time for him to hang up his gloves.
Well, the argument's going to be this. This is how you sell.
Let me interrupt you real quick. We got Gina on with our first guest, Adam Lopez. Gina, are you there?
Yep, we're here, and I have Adam on the line.
Mario, you want to take lead?
Yeah, what's going on, Adam? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Mario?
I'm really good. I'm really good. So you got a fight coming up, ShoBox. It's really exciting. I think you're moving really fast. That's the one thing that GH3, your promotion, promised you. What's it like for you in the sense that earlier in your career, you had such huge gaps in between your fights, and it was hard for you to get somebody down on paper, and now you're moving so fast. What's that like for you?
You know, it's really good because, you know, I mean, Vito and GH3 have done a great job with me so far, and, you know, I feel like we're going to go a long way, and, you know, it feels good that I'm moving pretty fast because, I mean, as you said, there was gaps in between my career, and, you know, it's kind of just, it feels like I'm just making up for lost time. I mean, I didn't fight for most of 2013, and it feels like I lost a year of my career, and I'm just making up for it now.
Now, you have a fight coming up, and it's actually going to be for a Latino title. Is that correct, right?
Yeah, it's going to be for a WBC and a WBA Latino title. Interim, I think a WBC interim title.
That's awesome. So what does that mean for you in terms of, you know, capturing your first smaller belt as it leads into bigger world titles? Do you think that it'll have an immediate impact if you can snatch this belt up really quick in terms of world title implications?
Yeah, I mean, from what Vito has been telling me, it will put me rated in the top 15 in the world. And, you know, that once you get rated in the top 15, there's just bigger opportunities for you, bigger paydays, bigger opportunities, shot at the world title belts and both sanctioning bodies. So, you know, I'm just really excited about that.
Now, I want to burn real quick before I ask this question. I just want to tell viewers that haven't seen you, Adam Lopez is an incredible story right here, because this guy was a year ago, I mean, he couldn't get a fight. He was having a really hard time, and all of a sudden he got with GH3, and he's been earning his spot. This guy's been coming up with knockouts and showing power in both hands. He was never supposed to be shown on TV during the CBS broadcast, never. They told him they weren't going to show him, and he absolutely earned that spot, and they showed a clip of him because his knockout was so devastating. When you go into the ring, Adam, are you looking for those kind of knockout performances and the devastating performances that you're putting together, or are those just coming to you?
You know, I really don't like going for a knockout because, you know, usually when you try to go for a knockout, it's never going to come. So, you know, I kind of just set it up and, you know, just little by little, and if, you know, eventually it will come if I find an opening. Then I'll go and get it. But, I mean, as far as looking for it, no, I don't really look for it at all.
You know, it's hard to even see that, but because, I mean, you have such intensity when you're chasing these guys down, and it looks like you have a real instinct for blood. When you smell it, you go after it. My last question before I pass you over to Ness, you're working with Carlos Hernandez. I know that you've been working with him, and then y'all were off and on for a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how that came about, but I know y'all are working together now. What's that like, working with somebody who's so experienced and is able to show you so much, and just being in that kind of atmosphere where you can gain so much, even if he's not teaching you, you're able to draw inspirations from you know, just being around him?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Carlos is, you know, Carlos is a blessing in my life because, I mean, we found each other basically. I had left, me and Ronnie Shields, I had left the Ronnie Shields camp, and I ended up getting with Carlos, and, you know, Carlos was doing his Unimas thing, and, you know, he was just being a commentator, and then he started training me, and then, you know, we just clicked from there, and, you know, me and Carlos have a different type of relationship because, I mean, I feel that the best trainers are the ones that, you know, you have the sense of they're in the ring with you, because, I mean, what we do is we're in the loneliest sport in the world, and, you know, it's just you and the other guy in there, and, you know, to have the feeling of that Carlos is also in there with me, that gives me a little bit of a boost, and, you know, I want to go out there and I want to do my best, you know, I want to prove that he is one of the elite trainers in the world, and, you know, it's just, I'm just very thankful to have Carlos training me and everything, and, you know, I'm just really excited about everything.
Well, Adam, I want to thank you, obviously, for coming on. I'm Nestor here. Now, I wanted to ask you about that highlight reel with Pablo Cruz. You know, obviously doing research, you know, that thing comes up, and you you really put him down in that second round. Could you just walk us through that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the first round was really competitive. Me and Pablo had sparred before when I was in Houston, and you know, I knew I could outbox him, but you know, he's really aggressive and really strong, and you know, going through it, I knew it was going to be a tough fight. And after the first round, I had hurt my left hand, so after when I came back to the corner, I was just thinking like, oh, it's going to be a long night. Hopefully, I can keep this up for 8 rounds. But you know, I was just counterpunching. You know, I hit him with the uppercut that set everything up, and I saw that he was hurt, and I just took advantage of it. And I dropped him after the first time, and he got up, and I was like, I got to put him down again because I mean, I don't know if this can go all 8. So I just put him down, and you know, I just kind of picked my shots, make sure that I wasn't gonna just punch myself out, and just really sat on my punches.
Now, what do you know about Aquino? Because I happen to be Dominican, and you know, I live by the fact that Dominicans are bums. I mean, this guy, I'm pretty sure he is coming off of losing record, everything. You know, I mean, I know, I'm happy we have Guzman and Edwin Rodriguez and even Fortuna, but they're no Mayweather, right? So that being said, what do you know about Aquino?
I mean, I really don't know anything about him. I just know he's a Samson Lukowicz fighter, and you know, if you're a Samson Lukowicz fighter, you got something on him. I mean, Samson doesn't just pick anybody, so I mean, that's a big sign right there. I mean, he's 17-0 with 11 knockouts. You got to have some power to put these guys down. But I mean, I really don't know. I can't try to find anything on him. I can't find anything on him, and you know, I'm going in there blind, and you know, I'm okay with that for right now. I have confidence in myself, and I know I can beat this guy.
Now you're super bantam. That makes you 122, right? The Regal division, right?
Yeah.
So this guy's moving up to face you, and you're right. You know, you answered that beautifully, because you know, I didn't mess up by saying that, but you know what? You answered it right. Samson has an eye for talent. I mean, he is the guy that brought Pacquiao to us. You know, he's got he brought Sergio Martinez, and guess who else? What's that? Victor Cayo. I think he also brought Victor Cayo, which you know
he brought your other boy, the Dominican.
Fortuna.
Fortuna. He's got Fortuna. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Fortuna. But I will tell you this. You know, this guy, his last fight was someone who was undefeated and coming off of some wins, but everyone he's fought has been in the Dominican Republic, and me being from there, I'm going to just tell you, $1 American is 48 pesos, so it's hard to eat. So these guys are easy to put away, Adam. They're easy to put away. I'm just saying, you get in there and you put them away, because you know, you don't want to be drawn or losing to a guy that everyone on his record is a losing fight. I mean, he's coming off of losing fights. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But you obviously are being pushed fast. I was looking at it, and I'm thinking, is that really what you want? I mean, you're only 12-0. You're already ranked 100 in the world. I mean, do you really want to be moving at this pace? You're seven in the United States, 100 in the world. I mean, you know, if you win this fight, like you said, it's 2 regional titles. You might end up facing Rigondeaux. Are you ready for that?
Well, I mean, I'm just going to take the opportunity if I get it. I mean, if it presents itself. But, I mean, I just felt 2013 was a terrible year for me. So, you know, I got to make up for some lost time. And, you know, I got other guys that are going that I started before them, and they're now ahead of me now with record-wise and everything. And, you know, I just feel like I have to be up there. I feel like I'm meant to be up there. And, you know, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get up there. I'm very sure that Vito will guide my career and know exactly what to do if I get up in the top 15. And I mean, I know we have to do mandatory fights and everything, but I'm very sure and very confident in him that he'll guide me correctly and everything, and in that way.
Man, you're beautiful. You sure you don't got a PR guy back there telling you what to say? you don't mess up at all, dude. Yeah, and that's good, man. Listen, that's good. All I'm saying is that you're looking so good. You know, right now you got 6 knockouts. You're undefeated. You know, you're on that path. but sometimes, people need to, not rush themselves. But could you tell us what exactly happened with Ronnie Shields? Because that just sounds like such an awesome place to be, at the Plex Gym, around the Charlo twins and Irislandri Laura, and, Edwin Rodriguez trains out of there. Just so many. Vanez used to be. There's just so many, world champions or future world champions that you could come across and train alongside with. What exactly took place that made you decide against training with Ronnie?
It wasn't. I mean, I love Ronnie and everything, but it wasn't that that I decided to leave. It was more of just some stuff went down, and some stuff went down. That's all I'm gonna say. But I mean, I love training at the Plex Gym, but sometimes when you're young and you do some things that you're not supposed to do. So I'm just gonna go into that detail. But that's it.
Well, all right, man. Listen, fair enough, brother, fair enough. Look, there's not much that we can say. We're hoping that you put on a great show. I'm actually going to be live in the building. A few of us are going to be there. Gina should be there too, and Rod, man. And we're going to check you out, and we're going to hope that you put on a great performance the way that you've been doing. We want to thank you for giving us an opportunity to interview you here before a big fight. And if you have any social media you want to give out at this time, you can do so.
Yeah. I mean, you can follow me on Twitter at Adam Lopez. You can follow me on Instagram at Adam Lopez. Facebook, same thing, Adam Lopez. Snapchat, if there's any girls want to Snapchat me on Snapchat. Adam Lopez.
Yo, Match.com. Match.com, Adam Lopez. Tender, Adam Lopez. Okay, Adam. Hey, listen, Adam, I like you even more. I like you even more now. Yeah. I love that, man. Yeah, thank you.
I mean, you guys should have talked about some totally different stuff outside of boxing with me. I'm very entertaining.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What you want to talk about? No. Listen. What do you want to talk about? You tell us.
Hey, man. I've had some experiences with this whole boxing thing. I love it, and I'm trying to get. Maybe this is why I'm fighting for these belts. Maybe I'm trying to get. There's a whole different other motivation to this besides world rating and anything like that, if you catch my drift.
No. Talk to me like a baby. Give me more. Give me more. Feed me, Seymour.
Man, we trying to get some hoes up in there with these belts. That's what I'm trying to do.
Hey, Adam, listen, you better not be partying when you're supposed to be training, okay? We see that it didn't work out too good for Brona.
Yeah. No, that's totally after the fights. I have to get the belts to get these girls, man. I'm serious. Being a boxer works out.
Yo, so you want to be the next golden boy? You want to be the next golden boy, huh?
Hell yeah, I want to be able to just be like, here, this is my resume. You know what to do.
So Adam's gonna win these belts and he's gonna wear them to the club. I guarantee it. We're gonna see some pictures pop up where he's just belts at the club.
Let me tell you something. That's it. You just unofficially invited me to your after party. I mean, obviously, a guy that parties as hard as you, there's gonna be some crazy shit happening. I better be there. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be at the fight.
That's why I'm telling you. Edwin is coming to the fight. Edwin Rodriguez. Carlos couldn't make it to the show box, but now he's gonna be able to make it. Edwin was supposed to be my chief second in the corner, but I mean, now that Carlos has come back, he's gonna be my chief second. Edwin's gonna come, so I mean, you gotta come hang out with me and Edwin, man. It's gonna be fun as hell. I'm telling you.
Yo, I want to go now for real.
It's gonna go crazy, man. We're gonna go crazy.
Listen, what you mean if you win this fight? Come on, brother. If really? No, you got to be more confident than that. You fought guys like Miguel Tamayo. I mean, this guy, he's been in the ring with Gary Russell. He's been in the ring with a bunch of names. I mean, that's a durable guy you've already put under your belt. How was that last fight? Adam? Did we lose him, Gina? I think the I think the PR pulled Adam.
It was like,
Gina, it's all good.
I'm here, but Adam must have hung up. I don't know.
Yeah, I think PR pulled him. Listen, it's all good, though. Tell them all press is good press. Gina, thank you, and we'll see you at 8.
You got it.
You want me to just leave you unmuted?
No, that's okay. I'll hang up.
All right. All right. Wow.
Yo, that kid,
explosive.
that better go. I'm talking to Matt up right now. That better go in a future intro. That we trying to get hoes.
We're trying to get hoes up here. Listen, this is what I'm saying. Like, look, it might be a little crazy over here, but who else does that? Who else gets fighters to just be so open like that?
It was
Listen,
fun. And look, I want to tell you though, for real, all bullshit aside, he's joking and he's, making us laugh and he's just being entertaining. You need to watch this kid. If you haven't seen
that
him,
left hook is dangerous.
Yo, he's got power in both hands. This kid, he came out of nowhere. I had heard of Adam Lopez because he's, a Texas guy and he came up the ranks, and so his name was always in my head. And I had seen a couple fights, I think when he was an amateur, but oh my God, he wasn't fighting. And then he got with GH3, and they kept their word, and they got him fights, and they moved him fast. And that's the best thing about GH3 is he's been earning that.
Listen, we're doing GH3. We're doing GH3 this entire show, right? So I'm gonna tell you, Derrick Webster, right? Who's he in with? Who's he supposed to be facing? He's gonna be facing
Magmadolf or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? The guy that fought Darnell Boone.
Well, this guy also beat Darnell Boone. Derrick Webster did.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot.
Yeah, and he beat him a long time ago. Listen, but he's old already. I mean,
but you didn't see. Yeah, but you didn't see that fight with.
No, I seen some of his fights. Oh, I seen some of his fights.
Did you see that? No, I'm talking about. I've seen Derrick Webster's too, but I'm talking about Magmadolf or however you say it, Magomedov. That last fight.
He's fighting out of Texas now, right?
I don't think so.
Let me see.
Wait, are you talking about Webster?
No, Mac, whatever. Let me just find
he's from Russia, yo.
Yeah, I know, but he trains out of Texas, right?
Oh, he does? I didn't even know that. I saw his last fight on CBS.
Oh, no, this is not the guy. This is not. Okay. I thought it was another. Because there's a Texas Russian dude.
Yeah, that's the
he KO'd Darnell Boone and won. But listen, Darnell Boone's 21-21. I mean, how old is Darnell Boone right now?
Yeah, and a lot of people call that a bad stoppage too. But
35 years old, man. He's beating on guys older than me. Get out of here.
Yeah, but that's but I'm just saying, like, that's a crazy fight right there. They're both undefeated.
Well, but that's the thing. You see, this kid is probably a declarated amateur. These kids got 60% KO ratio. And look, he's been in there with Finley. He's been in there with Boom. He's been in there with Mendy is a name that I know.
Yeah, so GH3's not playing.
No. I don't think that, but that's what I'm saying. They're Russian. Like, listen, this kid, Derrick Webster, all fine and dandy. He's 33 years old, so he needs to move fast. He does. But when the biggest name on your resume is Darnell Boone, I don't know how fast you should be moving.
Yeah, but you got to think about that division, and those guys been ducking each other for years. It's turning into the heavyweight division over there.
No, what? What division is this? He's a middleweight.
And how many middleweights have fought each other? Because I've seen Danny Jacobs fight who? And I've seen...
He fought five guys.
And I've seen Pirog hasn't fought in years, and Golovkin fought who?
Yeah, but
Cotto's fought how many people?
That's what I'm saying, Mario.
And Sergio Martinez went ghost. Like,
all right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, think about Danny Jacobs and the five guys that he fought, right? They might as well be Derrick Webster, right? Except for the fact that they probably were not undefeated, and Derrick Webster is. But according to Webster's resume, who is he right now, right?
True, yeah, but he's still, I think, on the come up in that.
Okay, but do you think that he's ready for Jacobs?
I think that if he beats this dude, I think he is.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying he beats him. We don't know. But at the same time, I've only seen Derrick Webster fight twice. And that was the Boom fight, and then that was the other one that they have on YouTube. It's the first one that pops up. That's it. And so I know that Danny Jacobs doesn't have all that, all the goods, so I better be careful because he might be listening.
I seen the Darnell Boone fight live.
Oh yeah, you were there for the.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was in Newark, and I seen let me see. There's also a fight that I seen in AC. He did a fight on the Thomas Lamana undercard, or actually, you know who it was? It was that other dude from Philadelphia, the one that fought Carl Froch. The one that fought Carl Froch.
Yeah.
Boom. Here it goes. Harris Casino. No, that's Philadelphia. Nope. Here it goes. Bally's, Romero. It's got to be that one. Romero. No, that's 2011. No, that's not it. But anyway, the point is I've seen the Saeed fight where he got that 22-second knockout, and I seen the Boom fight, and that's it. But his last fight is a dude 10-40. Man.
Yeah, okay, but that's the difference, though. You got to understand is that you got a guy in Adam Lopez who spent a year pretty much on the shelf, and even longer than that if you really add into the equation the boxing time that passes. So this kid is ready, and he's telling GH3 he's ready. You know, ultimately the promoter should work for the fighter, and we've gotten accustomed to it being the other way around, especially with Al Haymon. People listen to Al, and yeah, he gets them good, but then there's always going to be a Gary Russell, right? Somebody who didn't move up, somebody who didn't take those chances early, and then when they stepped up big, and they got squashed.
Well,
and
look,
so,
he stepped up. He stepped up. Whoever this, Guyanan fighter was, Obadiah Saeed, he was undefeated at least, and he came into it with a 69% KO ratio, and he put him out cold in 22 seconds.
You talking about Adam?
And that was we're talking Webster. We're talking Webster now.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
And that was the first fight that he signed with GH3. But we'll talk a little bit about him. Let's get to some headlines. What's a big headline that we need to talk about? It probably deserves its own show. Yes, Cotto Alvarez weight is set at 155, and likely date would be November 7th or November 21st. So it's a party. Hey, we all better be there. I don't know where. But one of the matters is settled. The contract weight for the fight will be held at 155 pounds. I think this is fucking ridiculous. We're talking about two dudes that can't make 154 fighting for a 160-pound belt at 155.
They can make 154. But Cotto just made it.
All right, so then why not fight there? Like, this is crazy.
Because they're pieces of shit. Like, look, I've always been a Canelo fan since he was fighting on networks that I had to like stream from Mexico. Okay, look, I'm gonna show y'all for YouTube. This is Canela, white with red. This is Canela right here. That's her name. That's my dog. Okay, but Canelo's a bitch. This is a bitch move, and Cotto's a bitch. 155 for real. Why? Like, for what? I mean, neither of you can make 160 probably, or maybe Canelo could. I don't even. He probably can. But it's just a tactic that I'm getting so sick and tired of. You're right. We should have had our own show on this, but it wasn't gonna last long because nobody in their right mind can defend this fight being at 155. Like, for what? I mean, it's just so stupid. Like, I just hate this.
You know what? I'm not gonna be all naggy or aggy. I wanted the fight. I got the fight. If they agreed to do a catch weight, I don't care. I'm not the one losing the weight.
True. And it's fair for both of them, really.
And if they want to fight for the belt, I don't care. That means one of them are gonna have to duck publicly Golovkin. So I'm good with that. And I hope that you guys heard me and don't attack me on Twitter. I don't care that
don't
it's
try
at
to set him on fire.
Yeah. I don't care that it's at 155. I wanted this fight. I'm glad that it's for the belt. This way, Golovkin makes one of them look gay on TV by saying, "No, I'm vacating this title," or they're gonna look really.
They're gonna say that they're gonna say that they're gonna fight him, and then they're not gonna fight him. So real quick, let's just break down the rest of this. There are two leading dates for this fight, November 7th, as Ness alluded to, and November 21st. The fight could also land on November 21st. So if the fight, which will be an HBO pay-per-view, takes place on November 7th, listen carefully, the MGM Grand will likely serve as the host. If the fight is on November 21st, it is likely that the fight will take place at the renovated Thomas & Mack Center with the Wynn Las Vegas serving as the host casino. Wynn Las Vegas serving as the host. For all the people that were hoping, like myself, that it was going to come to Texas, it's not. For all the people that were hoping it could land in New York or California, it's not. I always thought Las Vegas was going to be the likely spot. There's too many. Every location other than Vegas offers some sort of advantage. New York obviously is a Cotto town. California is obviously going to be a Canelo town. Texas is going to be the rip-off town. I guess you could call it a Canelo town, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm from Texas. I love Texas, but a terrible place to host big fights, and I hope they never host big fights here again. The judging is just, it's incompetence. But that being said, Las Vegas is the perfect place for this fight. Las Vegas is the where big fights should happen. It's where big fights, I think, manifest in this era, and it's just a different atmosphere. And I missed Mayweather-Pacquiao, and maybe I'm being a little biased here by saying this, but I missed Mayweather-Pacquiao. I wasn't able to be there. I'm going to try hard as hell to be there for Cotto Canelo. In fact, I'm going to start putting those shellings away now because I want to be there. I want to be there with the crew, whoever's coming. And so, we'll see how it goes. Ness is not there. So
no, I'm here. I'm just in the background. I think we got Adam back on. Let me see if I find Gina. Yes, here she goes. Adam, you back?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, Ness?
Bro, what happened, bro? You dropped off, man. I thought the PR
guy pulled you.
This is T-Mobile, man. T-Mobile service. That's what you're gonna get.
Oh, it's all good. I thought it was the PR coming like, no, you said too much.
He came out of nowhere and knocked the phone out of my hand. No, he didn't do that.
Yo, so tell me, you got like a brother or somebody already set this after party up, but is it a double suite? I mean, what we got going on here? I mean, Edwin Rodriguez is Dominican. Are we going to have to be dancing bachata or something, or are we going to like an American club? Where are we going?
I don't know, man. We're just going to do something. If worst comes to worst, we're just going to go in the hotel room. We'll have something, make something happen. But I don't know. But
man,
you need to have fun.
You need to be worrying about winning that fight, man. Forget that. I'm just joking with you, man. Win this fight and win it big because this is going to be some TV exposure, man, and it's always good for you to get some of that, and look good while there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just really excited to be on ShoBox for my second time and everything. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity that Vito's giving me.
So how'd that whole thing come about, you and GH3?
All right, so basically it went down like this. I was just basically fighting local cards here in Texas, Austin, one in San Antonio, and I was winning them all by knockout. So I was making at least some noise in Texas, but I wasn't making any noise. But one of the coaches that was working with Antoine and Jerry Odom came down here to visit me because he was my old national coach, Ron Sims, and he came to the gym and he wanted to talk boxing and everything, and he just he was saying, yeah, we got with this promoter, GH3 Vito, he's moving Jerry along, he's moving Antoine along, and so maybe I could put in a good word. And then we said, yeah, okay, we've heard this before and everything, so might as well give it a try. So then he talks to him, and then all of a sudden we get a phone call the next day, and it's Kei Kimura, Antoine's coach. And he talks to my dad and everything, and my dad tells him what we're going through and how how it's hard to get fights in Texas. The local promoters here aren't helping us out one bit, and we got to go outside to get these fights because I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop my dream just because somebody else locally doesn't want to help me out. I got to go elsewhere. So Kay hears us and hears us out. Then Vito calls us. And he's telling us how it is, and we like what Vito says. Vito's very straight up, gets to the point. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. And
Definitely.
One thing about Vito that me and my dad both love is he explains everything to us, and he makes sure that we fully understand what's going on and everything. So we talked to Vito, and the rest is history. I mean, this is going to be my fourth fight with GH3 in a year, and it's my second ShoBox appearance.
Well, Adam, we're running out of time. We actually got one of your other fighters on the card coming on, Derrick Webster. So we will pick up live at the fight after you win. We're going to shove the camera in your face and see how good you do on camera, brother. But thank you for coming on. We truly appreciate it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Lopez, fighting out of San Antonio, Texas. Adam, once again, give out your social media, please.
Okay, it's Adam Lopez on Instagram, Adam Lopez on Twitter, Adam Lopez on Snapchat, Adam Lopez on Facebook, and that's basically it. So thank you for listening and everything. Thank you Ness and Mario for having me on the show, and hopefully I give a great performance on ShoBox.
Man, I'm sure that you do. I'm sure that you will with that left hook, brother. And believe me, man, left hook good night. All them ladies will come around. I'll see you later. All right.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Listen, he keeps putting them away like he's doing with that left hook. He won't have any problems at all.
He's gonna be fighting off the dudes too. Shit, he's gonna start getting groupies for that right hand. That left hand. Both of them really. He's got power in both.
Let's see, man. This, he sounds good, and it's good to see fresh talent. GH3 really making a name for themselves this year. That void that was left with Haymon taking all his fighters to PBC, there was a ShoBox void there that we thought we were going to get a bunch of TMT, and luckily we didn't. We've been getting a lot of little good scraps, like one of our other guests, Antoine Douglas. You remember he fought Mikel Soro, who eventually knocked out by TKO Glenn Tapia. So, and that kid, he fought, man, I actually like this lineup. I actually like this lineup because I think Douglas is a tough kid. He's got a good story that I'm sure people don't even know. So we're going to see can we get it out of him. We're going to see can we get it out of him. Really quick, though, while we wait on Gina, Floyd Mayweather is set to make $220 million for that Pacquiao fight. That's the the bottom line. Floyd Mayweather will earn almost as much as will earn almost as much for 36 minutes in the ring in May as Tim Duncan made in his 18 years as a career in San Antonio Spurs. $235 million.
Good Lord, that's so crazy. He's made as much in one fight nearly as much as Tim Duncan did in his entire career. Tim Duncan's like an underrated player to begin with, but still, or underappreciated player, I should say. But still, regardless, that's crazy. But boxing's dead, though, Ness.
No, but Mario. But that being said, this is why I'm optimistic. People call me a genital rider, right? And I'm just optimistic. With Mayweather, with this is what you do. You give that last fight on CBS because it's a partnership with Showtime. Let them double stream it, whatever they need to do. Get him on there. Get him telling kids that he made what Tim Duncan made in a whole freaking career. He made it in one fight.
Yeah,
make people ambitious about wanting to get into this sport. Put them out there to grow new people into this sport. And I think it's gonna happen. I'm optimistic. People could call me what they want. No, I want what's good for the sport. I want whatever's better. I want what's good. That's all I want. That's all that I want.
It says,
okay, we're on with Derek, man. Okay. So let me find Gina here. But go ahead, pick up, brother.
No, it's saying that he's roughly making a little more than what LeBron James has made on his on-career court, and so hopefully that will entice the young guys in America that realize football, baseball, basketball can pay better. But if you could become a guy like Floyd Mayweather, you make more than all those guys.
Gina, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, and I have Derrick Webster with me.
Derrick, what's going on? Derrick Webster, ladies and gentlemen, in the middleweight division. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview you, of course. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling real good.
All right. So I just want to ask you.
We gon' take it to the world. We gon' take it to the bank. We gon' take it to the world. We gon' take it to the bank.
Where we taking it, brother?
Straight to the bank.
So listen, man.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
We're excited. Man. We're excited to have you on, man. You're taking a huge step up fight here, man. That's really gonna make a name for yourself. What do you feel about this upcoming matchup? I wrote this guy's name down and how to pronounce this because I don't want to botch this. Let me just swivel through these sheets here, and we're gonna go to what is it? Where'd I put it? Oh God.
Arif Magomed
Yeah, whatever. Get
Magomedov.
him, Mario. Get him.
Arif Magomedov.
I
There you
know.
go.
Very hard to pronounce,
Yeah.
but very good declarated amateur. So what do you think about your opponent?
I mean, I really don't. You know what I mean? Like this opportunity here has bypassed me so many times. I mean, I've sort of been at this stage, and I've had more. I probably had more people pull out of fights than you know what I mean. More wins that I have on my pro record.
Whoa! Give us a list. Give us a list. Name some names.
I mean, I was supposed to have fought so many people. I mean, I was supposed to have fought Jermaine Taylor. I was supposed to have fought Peter Manfredo Jr. I've actually called out Leon Love myself, called up to the camp myself to try to get a fight with him. That was when I was fighting that super middleweight, and they hung up on me. I mean, I can go on and on, you know, but I mean, I was been supposed to be on this level. So now I just look at it like this is God's timing, you know, and they cracked the door for me. I'm gonna kick it open. You know, I don't really know anything about his amateur career. I mean, like they're hiding as much as possible, so I don't really know much about it.
Now, tell me, what are you doing in your off time? Are you a full-time boxer?
I mean, I own businesses. I own my own businesses.
So you've been did you have the opportunity to give a whole 8-week camp for this fight?
Oh yeah, I'm always training. I never stop training. I've never stopped training. I don't let anything interfere with my training.
I see you're a New Jersey native, man. I'm from New Jersey myself. I'm up in the Union County area right now. I've been actually to a couple of your fights. You did one in AC that I was at, and also the one in Robert Treat I definitely was at. And obviously, you know, everyone's seen the highlight reel, your 22-second knockout. So, you know, I'm familiar with you. I just don't know, you know, I don't know this guy just like you. I mean, all we know is that he's a declarated amateur, and you can't tell us much. So is this just going to be the Derrick Webster show?
Well, I can tell you, one thing that we both know about him is that he's fighting Derrick Webster. And I'm you know what I mean? That's like, I mean, and honestly, that's just what it is. Like, I mean, like that's one thing I know about him. He got to fight Derrick Webster. You know what I mean? I don't care who he's fought. You know what I mean? I know not the fight that he had with Darnell Boone. I say that was a fluke. You know what I mean? They stopped that fight very premature. You know what I mean? Me and Derrick family, we're pretty cool. So I mean, you know, you can't find that fight with him and Derrick anywhere, because I hear that was that was like one of his toughest fights. You know, but I mean, he's a straightforward kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like if you're not standing in front of him, like he can't punch. He has to be set. So, you know what I mean? Like, when have you ever seen Derrick Webster stand in front of anybody? You know what I mean? Like, if you want to hit me, you have to work for it.
So you have seen him fight though, then, right?
I mean, there's some footage of him on YouTube. There's some footage on YouTube of him.
But this is going to be your debut on TV, so it means that you have to make an impression. But you've been doing a lot of things outside the ring, outside of this being your debut. You're also going to be debuting on the movie with Creed. Could you tell us a little bit about that? That definitely has me intrigued, because I was a huge Rocky fan. I mean, who isn't? And then this spinoff, and I love Michael B. Jordan. I even interviewed him about this movie couple of months ago, so I'm excited. What sort of role do you have in the movie Creed?
Yeah, I'm actually Michael B. Jordan's I'm his sparring partner. You know, he pretty much comes in and interferes with my sparring. You know, then me and him get to mixing it up. I don't want to give you too much, because I don't want to spoil anything. But I mean, like, Michael B. Jordan, the movie has an amazing cast. And to this day, you know, me and Michael B. Jordan and Wood Harris, we're all great. We're all great friends. We all stay in touch. You know, but it's gonna be an exciting movie. I mean, like, I love how they're recreating it to the next generation. You know, so it's a really, really good movie, definitely.
Real quick, so for people that don't know, Creed is a movie that's coming out this year. I'm almost positive in the fall, and it's about Apollo Creed's son, right? And Rocky, Sylvester Stallone plays Rocky, obviously, and he's going to be training Apollo Creed's son. That in the movie's called Creed. Michael B. Jordan is playing Apollo Creed's son, and it looks really, really interesting. And that's awesome, yo. Like, for real, Derrick, that's so cool. So, hey, give us the insight. Could Mike could he throw down? I mean, was he solid? Did he have them skills for real?
I mean, they had to do a lot of training, but I think he's a natural athlete. You know what I mean? But they had to, to make it look real. I think he had to go through some extensive training. But I think he pretty much caught on really well. He seems like an all-around athlete. So, now I don't think it was too hard for him. Acting alone, he has down packed. So, I think he just had to get the boxing part down. But he did really well.
He's actually a pretty big fight fan too, man. I've seen him at least 3 or 4 fights live already. Whether he's doing research or not, but yeah, man. Again, like I said, just so many interesting things that probably our listeners or the boxing casual fan doesn't know about Derrick Webster in the middleweight division is that you've also sparred with Matt Korobov, Andre Dirrell, and obviously you've beaten a tough guy in Darnell Boom, who's dropped guys like Ward and stopped guys like Stevenson. So there's signs of you possibly being the goods. And, I watched some documentaries and stuff. Shout out to YouTube. Best thing that happened to the world. I was able to follow a couple of your fights on the documentaries that I believe it was Resolution Sports did for you. They were really good, and got to see a little bit inside of your life, man. I recommend any of our listeners to go check it out. But you signed with GHP on the Say fight after that 22-second knockout, or before that 22-second knockout. And right away, you're in this pretty big fight on television and versus some decent opposition. Is it too fast, or is it right away, being as though that you're 33?
Well, I mean, my age really don't got nothing to do with it. I mean, I didn't start fighting until I was 24. So and I don't drink or drug or party. You know what I mean? Like I'm not your average 33-year-old. So like the age don't really have anything to do with it. I mean, I did just fight a couple of weeks ago in Memphis, Tennessee, and had a 5th round knockout. That was actually my first fight with Greg Cotto. Yeah, I mean, like I don't consider this being too fast, or I really don't consider it being a big step. I mean, who is this dude? Who knows him? Who is he? You know what I mean? I don't consider that being a big step at all. I'm looking forward to a good fight. You know what I mean? I'm training. I'm just stepping out the gym just now, doing 5-minute rounds, seven 5-minute rounds. You know what I mean? I'm pushing myself to the limit, and come the 17th, I plan on doing all my hard work in the gym.
Yo, is it I guess like easy because you're coming from doing a movie, shooting a movie, so being on ShoBox, being on TV, like that don't even faze you at all, right?
Well, I've been on TV pretty much my whole life. I mean, I model, I sing. TV doesn't make me do backflips. You know what I mean? It's just another part of life for me. So you know what I mean? It's like I'm more worried about just going in here, making an impression for the boxing world, making my mark, and looking on to what's bigger and better after this. You know what I mean? I know that the world opens up after this win. So that's what I'm more worried about. TV, I mean, TV ain't going nowhere. So it's always going to be there.
But Derrick, what's your main focus? I mean, you just mentioned 3 careers. How does a boxing fan get behind Derrick Webster? Is he the actor, the singer, the model, or is he a fighter?
Well, no, I mean, I'm multi-talented. That's what I am. You know what I mean? But my focus is definitely boxing. I don't let anything take me away from my craft. I've been doing everything else since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So that was just to answer your question about the whole TV thing. A lot of people get excited about, I'm going to be on TV. TV doesn't, the lights and stuff, this is something I'm used to.
So we've been talking a lot about his amateur background. What about yours? What could you tell us? I heard a rumor that you probably got a couple of amateur KOs over some names that we know. Any truth to that?
I mean, I don't know. I pretty much knocked everybody out that I fought. I mean, in the amateurs, I was a pretty hot commodity coming up in the amateurs. I was 38-2, only had 40 amateur fights. You know what I mean? But I don't think I fought any big names in the amateurs at all. I think I'm getting more experience through the championship camps that I go to.
And I named a few of those. Are there any new ones that you can add?
Oh man, I've been in camp. Well, it started with Bernard Hopkins, and then it was Julio Chavez Jr. And then being in that camp, I got a chance to mix and mingle with Amir Khan, Pacquiao. Then I was in camp with Andre Ward, Matt Korobov, Sergey Kovalev, where that's where I met Kimbo, I met Randall Bailey. You know what I mean? There's probably not a world champion that. I mean, Steve Cunningham, you got Eddie Chambers. I've helped out. Yeah, I mean, any world champion, I've been in the ring with.
So I just want to be clear here. You don't have the story of a Gabriel Rosado early in his career having to work like at a Home Depot and train. Like if you lose, which I know it's not an option, you're not going to show back on another edition of the Boxing Voice and tell us, man, I was working late night. That's what people didn't know.
Nah, see, like I've never been. From the time I became a man, I've always owned my own company. So, you know what I mean? I never had to really follow the rules of anybody. You know what I mean? So I've had my company since I was 16 years old. I've always pretty much been self-sufficient, made my own money, and follow my own rules. So, you know what I mean? Like if what I normally do is weeks before the fight, I normally shut my businesses down, or I just let my employees do what they need to do, and I just collect my money. But I train twice a day. You know what I mean? I'm up by 4 in the morning doing my running. I'm in the gym by 7, go home, rest, and I'm back at the gym, getting out pretty much around this time, or if not a little bit later.
Now, I heard obviously the song of the clip that I played, and in there was a mention of a possible Mayweather signing. Was that something that the rapper just decided to write, or was that something that was going to happen and didn't, or is that still an option?
No, it's not an option right now. I mean, right now, like I said, I'm happy with the people I signed with right now. But I mean, like I was supposed to have signed with a lot of different people, but just things just didn't work out. So now my thing is to make my mark and just make everybody regret, you know what I mean, not signing me.
Well, I couldn't have said it any better myself. Listen, I love your confidence, but I do want to direct your attention to something.
I'm I really don't know much about Gil, but I'm hoping that Cotto does win the fight. Preferably because I want to fight with Cotto. You know, when I put those 2 straps around my waist, I would like to get a championship fight with Cotto. So I'm hoping Cotto wins. I say I stop Cotto within 8 to 10 rounds.
Bold words, my friend. Is that your voice?
That still stands. That still stands.
Derrick, I'm going to be at this fight, and I'm going to be glued to the ring, man. You got me intrigued. I love a man with confidence is what the sport needs. We need confident guys that could get in front of the camera, get on the microphone, and you know, attract the crowd. You know, Broner does it good, but, you know, you don't have to go extra, you know. And I love your confidence, brother. I want to see it.
I mean, boxing is just something that you can't play around with. You know, I mean, a lot of people walk around and they're more than what they think they are. You know what I mean? And just what I've learned in this game is what you put into it is what you get out of it. You know what I mean? If you do what you're supposed to do, you perform well. You know what I mean? And throughout my career, you know, I've had times where I know, like, you know, I may have slacked off a little bit and I see it in my performance. Then when I do what I'm supposed to do, the result is what happened to Older Bay Say, what happened to the last guy I fought, what happened to all the other guys I fought. You know, this is just something that you can't play around with. And, you know, your window is really short in this game. You know what I mean? So you got to go for what you need to go after. And if what's presented to me is what it is, and if they say it's Cotto, then it's Cotto. If it's Daniel Gill, then it's Daniel Gill. You know what I mean? But I just know that I'm going after. I believe in my team, and I'm following their direction, and I believe in what they're trying to do with me. And my job is to train and do what I'm supposed to do as a fighter, and produce like I produce.
Well, Derrick, take it to the bank, Webster. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview. We look forward to your fight on July 17th. And if you have any social media, please give it out at this time so any of our listeners could definitely follow you, man, because I am going to be following you. I am going to be following. We need guys like you, brother, so we just need you to perform as good as you talk.
Yeah, well, definitely. You can find me, Derrick Webster, and that's on all three sites: Facebook, Derrick Webster, Instagram, Derrick Webster, and Twitter, Derrick Webster.
Well, thank you, brother, and we'll look forward to talking to you again. Gina, thank you. Mario, we're going to take some calls, brother, because we have been chopping it up, and we still got 2 more guests. Remember, folks, at 9 o'clock we got Jessie Vargas, and at 8:30 we got Antoine Douglas, also on that ShoBox card. 503, you're up. Who's this?
Hey, what up, man? It's Jose from Lower Oregon.
Jose, what up?
What up, guys? Hey, I have not much to say. Just wanted to pretty much say I love the Boxing Voice, and, you know, I'm just listening.
All right, Josue. Listen, you know I love you, brother. I love each and every one of you. Even the haters, like that dude I can never pronounce in the chat, that all he does is just come every single show to hate, 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 hate. I need to get a Rihanna soundbite for that loser. Let me see. 908, you're up. Who's this? 908, going once. 908, going. He's been there from the beginning, from before the show started. It's crazy. 908, okay. I'm gonna just put you back on mute. Don't worry about it. Let's go to
introducing the hard-hitting ringside Robbie.
Hello, guys. I'm hoping the switchboard is working properly today because I listened to yesterday's show and I had a lot to say. So you mind if I comment on that for a few minutes?
No. Nah, go ahead, Robbie.
Hey, I know we have guests, so I won't hold this up too much. The only thing,
Time's up. No, I'm joking.
I know. The only thing that really let me make this clear. I support what Al Haymon is doing. I love the fact that he's giving us multiple fights on our TVs on multiple channels. The only thing I don't like, and I don't ever remember this being a boxing practice, is a promoter or an advisor, whatever he wants to be called, going around and booking venues to stop other people from using them. That is a practice that should be stopped. And that is one part of this lawsuit where they may actually have an actual case, because my theory is if you want to put a Top Rank or a Golden Boy or any other promoter out of business, you leave all the arenas wide open and you force them to put on good shows, and you just beat them with the product that you offer. But I do think because of the fact that Haymon and PBC has gone around and stopped people from using venues, that is one part of the court case might have some actual merit. And I wondered what the rest of you felt about that, because I don't remember you covering any of that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we didn't, but it was just too much to really get into. I mean, have you read the stuff? Have you read the actual litigation files against him?
I read the article by Lance Pugmire. Yes, and
okay.
He's one of the best boxing writers in this country.
Oh, okay? Absolutely.
And awesome job for getting him to come on the Boxing Voice yesterday. And anything he says definitely has merit, but that is the one part of this court case that might actually have some legal standing that the government or a judge could definitely get Al Haymon on, because Beeb, you're almost as old as I am. Do you ever remember in the past when Don King or any other promoter was basically the king of boxing, did they ever book arenas ahead of time to stop their competition?
Robbie. Beeb is away, but
okay.
I would ask you this, and you have a killer echo, bro.
I don't know why.
I would ask you this, right? Oh man, damn! What was the last statement you just made? Oh, I lost my train of thought.
He said, "Did Don King ever book arenas?"
Yeah. How are you gonna prove it? How are they gonna prove that he purposely booked the venue and then didn't do the show because it was intended to block whoever fight? How could they prove that though?
Well, see, that's where a legal background would come in handy, and I don't have one of those. But I do think that is the one part of this law.
No. What I'm telling you is that's sarcasm, Robbie. What I'm saying is, unless someone filmed whoever was in charge, because again, we don't know if this man is actually doing the day-to-day operations. We don't even know where he stands in this company. Everyone is just assuming Haymon is in charge of PBC. As far as we know, do we even know if his name is on anything?
Well, in my opinion, Ness, Al Haymon is the financial backer, but he's got all these other promoters, such as Lou DiBella and the other people that he works with, actually booking all the shows. So I think he's legally protected. His name is not on any legal documents except for when it comes to financial situations. That's my theory. I don't know if it holds any water, but that's the way I see it.
Well, listen, brother. Let me move on. I'm gonna leave you on. Let me get you some callers here, brother, because of the phone lines are jam-packed. Plus, we got another guest at 8:30. We're gonna go to 407. You're up. Who's this?
Jay from Orlando. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Jay? Talk to us.
All right. Hey, man, what I was basically going to say, man, was I wanted to call yesterday, but I couldn't get in the call yesterday. But what I wanted to say was it was more so corrected at what Jameson was saying, and I appreciate everything that Mario B. I see both sides of the field when it comes to the Haymon thing. But one thing they were saying was that it hurts fighters in the long run if PBC fails. And I don't buy that, because the reason why I don't buy that is because I watch other sports. I watch NFL, I watch football, I watch basketball. And I remember when the XFL failed, those players that people we never heard of got chances to try out for those other teams. And if you look at other stuff, like, for instance, let's take Kimbo Slice, for instance. Kimbo Slice, if he never had the internet, he never had YouTube, he would never be on Bellator or the UFC. So, as long as Keith Thurman keeps winning and keeps fighting, it doesn't matter if PBC fails. He's always going to have a career, because he's always going to have that fan base that's going to remember.
Exactly.
So,
exactly what I was telling Mario earlier. Like, dude, when a company goes out of business, they do that final sell. All those fighters would be up for sale. Their contracts would be, and not only that, right? Everybody's like, oh, Haymon has an ironclad contract. He doesn't even let you sign with anyone without him saying yes first.
You ready? You ready for me to kill Ness?
No, wait a minute, Mario. Because
go ahead,
isn't
finish.
manager,
I'm gonna kill you.
Aren't you supposed to tell a manager when someone is making you an offer? Isn't your manager supposed to manage you on what decision to make? Obviously, it's gonna say in his contract, I don't want you to do anything without me, because you could jeopardize yourself. You could take a contract that you didn't read properly, and now you're fucked. Okay? So him having that clause is not a big deal to me, but what I will say is this, right? If Haymon lost his networks, right, with whatever contract you have, right, you, like, if you were my manager, Mario, you would be telling me, Ness, I'm going to get you X amount of fights for X amount of dollars, because we all forget that these fighters have mandatory minimums, okay? So when he stops, because PBC went out of business according to this lawsuit, when he stops being able to facilitate those fights and those paydays for those fighters are now able to get out of their contract because he is in breach. I mean, I don't understand why it's like, oh, hey man, like, shut up, all these girls, man.
Okay. So hold on, real quick. Let me. I gotta kill Ness real quick. Okay. Let me ask Ness a question. Please, just answer it yes or no. Do you think there are such thing as HBO only boxing fans and Showtime only boxing fans?
No.
Okay, so let me tell you why you just shot yourself in the foot right there. I was hoping you said no. Ness, if you don't know, does not watch football, does not watch baseball, does not watch basketball. He's a boxing hardcore guy, ride or die, that's it. But I happen to know that Ness actually did watch MMA at one point in his life. He watched Strikeforce. For those that do not know, UFC had one American competitor before Bellator, and that was Strikeforce, which was only on Showtime. So when I would ask Ness about Bones Jones or Anderson Silva or GSP, he would literally say, who are they? And literally have no idea who they were. He did not watch UFC, but he knew who Nick Diaz was, and he knew who the other Strikeforce guys were. So Ness wasn't a hardcore MMA fan, but when I asked him why watch Strikeforce and not the UFC, his answer to me was, I have Showtime, I'm going to watch it. I'm paying for it, so I'm going to watch it. So there are plenty of guys that have HBO that say, I have HBO, I'm going to watch what they got on Saturday night. Showtime, I have Showtime. So when you don't build stars on these networks, and then all of a sudden Keith Thurman is ripped from NBC or Spike or ESPN and then shoved onto HBO, he does lose a following. he does lose some sort of following, and those casual fans that associate boxing on a specific network, they have no idea who the hell they are.
He loses a following, but it's not like he loses his job or pay, because the thing with
his pay maybe.
The thing with, is PBC any different? Is the boxing ring any different? Is it like a BKB boxing ring? It's not. So he's not losing like a style. It's not like he had to switch up his style or anything. Only thing that he's losing is that he's losing his primetime spot. He's still in the necessary boxing league. He's just no longer on the primary thing, and he'll get right back.
But you're talking about rankings, though. You're talking about rankings. You're not talking about the business side of it, and that's what they care about, and that's what we're talking about. Of course, PBC family doesn't send him down the rankings.
Caller, we're going to have to pick up where we left off, brother. We got our next guest, all right? I'll be right back.
All right.
All right. Let's see if we can't find Gina. Where is she? Oh, there we go. Gina, you there?
Yep, I'm here, and I have Antoine Douglas with me.
Antoine Action Douglas, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
What's up, man? Nothing much, just working hard, staying ready, man. Preparing for this next big fight I got.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to have you on, brother. I had the opportunity to interview you once, I believe, in the very same casino you're going to be fighting at Sands, man. But doing some research, man, I learned a lot of interesting things about you, man. So for everybody that doesn't know Antoine Douglas' story, can you please fill us in just a little bit? I mean, wherever you would like to start, really. And if not, then I guess I'll probe.
Well, I guess I'll start from day one. And it's crazy because everyone knows this story now, and I just, found this story out when I was 19, which was only 3 years ago. I found out from my mom. Being in foster care, not being so close to family, I was there was a limit to info I could find out, about my family and anything, what went on. So I found out I was born, I'm guessing, hypothetically, I was born dead. I guess the doctors revived me as a baby, so, that's what we get the saying that, I'm such a fighter in the ring. That's, where I get most of my motivation from. I feel as though, if anything would have stopped me, it would have stopped me then. So I've been through foster care. The usual life that a child growing up in the rural, nasty areas of the ghetto or whatever, a lot of them go through. And I found boxing, as a safe haven for me. It disciplined me, surrounded me with the people, that could support me and push me and guide me, and got me to where I'm at now.
Yeah, man, I was reading that at the age of 3, you were separated from your mom and you entered into foster care. But you eventually ended up with your aunt, and you had a big brother that was there for you. Tell us a little bit about your brother.
Oh, my brother, so we went to our aunt. This was at a time before I could really remember. My most vivid memory is being dropped off in front of my aunt's house in like a basket or a bag or something. And, that's just the memory, though. I'm not too sure how vivid that is. And sometimes we have stories about it. But it was me, my brother, and my sister, and my oldest brother who will be at the fight on Saturday, I think it is. And, so we got dropped off at our aunt's house. And she had 2 kids of her own. So while she was, struggling to take care of us and her 2 kids, she had made a decision that I'm pretty sure was hard for her to put us in foster care, because I'm guessing, she thought that they could provide a better, lifestyle, better care for us than she could, because she was struggling. And so we got split up in foster care. So my oldest brother was no longer around. We couldn't find him. My older sister, she was no longer around. We couldn't find him. And it was just me and my older brother. We were just together. So we had been through all the trials and tribulations together. So then we got adopted to our a cousin, which was our mother's first cousin. We got adopted to him, and because we were always getting into fights, and we would always do brutal things around the house, he said, why not find something constructive to do with it? And him being a boxer in his past, he thought that boxing was the best thought out thing to do, to aim that energy. Now it was me and my brother from the get-go. So then we began boxing, and that's what discipline and set me on the straight path. My brother, who he fell off and narrowed away because of the street. once it's hard to get in and out of the street, and also do boxing. So that burned him off his path, but he's still around now.
So now, the interesting thing about you, we were actually talking about this earlier because we've had Adam Lopez and Derrick Webster, two guys that are going to be on the same card with you, and we had them on the show before you. And everyone is with GH3, and everyone is being moved very fast. Like, to all our listeners out there, Antoine is only 22 years old. He turned pro at 20. And you're already 17-0. You've already fought Mikel Soro, who just knocked out Glenn Tapia. You just beat undefeated Thomas Lamana your last time on ShoBox. You're moving very fast, and that's cool because you seem to have the talent. You're in there, and you're working, guys. We're gonna talk about that Soro fight, but I want to say, do you think that you need this maybe slow down just a bit, just so that you could come into your own and not have an accidental hiccup because you were moving too fast?
And see, that's what the thing was from the beginning. We wanted to move, we wanted to get the experience going, to find the pace that we were comfortable moving at. And so we were moving fast. And I'm going to say it's been successful, even with the draw with Michael Soro. It was all a learning process, and it's been success thus far. So, we're still within the process of me growing into my own, because a lot of people would say, they would like to move slow or whatever, but if you're moving slow, you're sitting around and you're not really getting that experience. So you're waiting and you're waiting. The next thing you know, 5 years have passed and you've yet to get that experience because you weren't moved enough, because you preferred to move slow, whatever the case may be. So that's what our, plan was. And, thanks to my team and, the people behind me, backing me, GH3, and my coaches, that we were able to do that successfully.
Real quick, Ness, I know you still got questions, but before you jump into the boxing part, real quick, Antoine, is it safe to say that there is nothing in boxing? Because we all know it's a physical sport. We all know it's really demanding. Is it safe to say that because of your background that there is nothing in boxing that would ever be, like, too hard for you in the sense of, like, training and the dedication and sacrifices? I mean, is it safe to say that the struggles you had growing up have kind of thickened your skin to anything you could encounter in boxing?
It's completely safe to say that those things play a big part. With the assets that they contribute to, towards me being a fighter, me being so determined, and me not giving up. But there's a saying that boxing emulates life itself. Boxing is one of the only sports that emulates life so much itself. You can tell a lot about a person and their lifestyle, on their lifestyle, how they live in the ring. If they're a quitter, if they push hard, their work ethic and stuff like that. And that's where a lot of that generates from. Going through all that, and that helped me build that mental capacity. So, it's completely safe to say that, that they had a lot to promote, what was made of me and my boxing career.
The other question I wanted to ask you before we get into the fighting, because we do need to get into the boxing, because I mean, your career is taking off and this is a big fight. I read the Forbes interview. I read it a while back, actually, and I reread it to brush up before the interview. And I remember the one thing that stuck out to me was your take on finances in just as an athlete. And I remember you were quoted in saying, it's not about how much you make, but how much of it you keep. And this is from, at the time, was a 21-year-old, right? I think the interview was when you were 21. Now you're 22.
Yeah, that's correct.
To have that mindset for a guy who at one point in his life, didn't know if dinner was going to be on the table and just had so many hardships as far as financials go into it. I mean, where do you get that maturity from as far as the economics of the business of boxing?
Well, I would say first, because I come from a city with a lot of talent and a lot of examples of what I wouldn't want to be. And these are the examples, that are shown to me. So I take pride and I strive myself on being different from anyone else. Anyone can walk down the street with the same pair of shoes as everybody else, but you don't really stand out. I pride myself on being different and standing out. And a lot of that comes from the guidance and the people that I'm surrounded with my team once again. And also, growing up, I was always the type of person to look to the future. Because of my childhood, some would say it was so brutal and rough and hard. And I look at it like, you know, yeah, you can look at it like that, but because I would say I'm blessed, I was blessed with a certain mental capacity and fortitude to live through it and be happy about it. That told me to always think to the future. And when I, like the things I say or whatever, I always do things and plan for the future. Like when I say stuff like that, you know, not just making money, keeping it, because I plan for the future, like my family, I want to have kids and stuff. And because of my childhood, I wouldn't like, you know, for my child or any children I will be involved with to have to go through what I've been through. Although that's what made me who I am, you know, I'm just happy to say that I happen to be blessed with that mental fortitude, but I know what it was like. And I know a lot of children, or, you know, I'm not children anymore, who are my age, people who've been through what I've been through and weren't and couldn't handle it as, you know, as well as I could. So I know what it's like. So that's where that's all generated from. You know, I'm always a future thinker. I'm always preparing for the worst, but planning for the best.
So, Antoine, what do you know about this guy, Esteban Silly? Undefeated, 40% KO ratio from Hungary. What do you think about him?
From what I've seen, he seems to be a strong fighter. From what I've watched, he walks straight in. He's got a tight defense. Like he can punch. He can punch. From what I've seen, I mean, I don't know too much about his, you know, amateur pedigree or background, but, you know, most of the info you get is from what you see. He's undefeated also, so, you know, that all plays a part.
If you actually, you know, were to look at your resume, and there might be some people out there who don't follow the sport as closely, you know, they might say, well, I don't see this big name or blah, blah, but you've had a lot of tough fighters. Ness mentioned the Soro fight, the Thomas Lamana fight. Cornflake was a guy who had a lot of a big following, and he still does. You beat the brakes off of him, though. Do those fights give you the kind of, I guess, confidence as you head into this fight and go past, or are you still looking to test yourself against the best and know that will be your time? Like, are you ready now? Is this the fight that's going to propel you into a top 10 fight, or you still feel like you need to make up ground as a 22-year-old?
Well, as a boxer, you always want to feel like you're prepared, because things could be thrown at you at any time, and also any fight, you can't always consider a guy's record to make up, you know, a lowly fight, because a lot of times it's the guy that you don't know, you don't hear about, that you know, and even the great state are the ones that give you the hardest fight. As far as being ready, I feel like I mean, of course, I could be a little more seasoned because I am young, but the work that I put in, and because, you know, I know what I'm working toward, I feel like, you know, I'm ready whenever. And this fight, as I see all the fights, I look at it like this: the work that I put in will generate what will come next for me. Meaning, if I'm spectacular this next fight, which I plan to be, then it will catapult me itself from the work that I put in. So that's how that would, you know, I can't put like an exact on it or anything, because, you know, in this sport you never really can. But
all right. Do you think that the fact that he has 2 draws and he's 10 years older than you, you could probably just work him into, I guess, your type of fight?
Well, I wouldn't say exactly, because that could mean something, and also it can mean nothing at all. You know, like I said, this is a guy that I really don't know much about, except for what I've seen on tape. And he is undefeated.
Yeah, I think that, you know, I see where you're going with that, and it's hard because sometimes you know, you got to watch tape, you got to watch what the styles and prepare for that.
And a lot of times you could go in the fight looking at certain aspects of it, of why you think it will be an easy fight for you, or why you should be able to dictate the fight, and that could be the complete opposite sometimes.
Exactly. Wow, what a great point.
You want to just go and prepare fully, regardless if you may be 33 or 23, whether you have 2 draws or 2 losses. You want to go and prepare, you know.
Yo, I need to check that birth certificate.
Between a winner or a loss.
I need to check your birth certificate because you don't talk like no 22-year-old, man. You talk like
too much knowledge, right?
Right? Exactly. This kid is way too mature to be 22 years old.
It just comes from me listening, man. I'm more of a listener than a talker. You know, a long time ago, I think a teacher at Old Head, I've heard it a couple of times, that you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. I'm more of an observer, man. I love to observe and listen because then, you really see what comes out once if you're doing all the talking, then you're missing out on something.
So, Anton, are you a full-time fighter? Because we asked Derrick Webster the same thing. Obviously, when you're at this level, unless you're a blue chipper, no one's paying for your camp. So do you have to work a full-time job, or is this what you do?
No, this is what I do. This is all me, man. All 100, man.
That's beautiful.
All the time. It's me. Just boxing, man. Eat, sleep, live it.
So, could you let us know, I guess, some of the camps you've been in throughout the years, who you've worked with? Since you said you're an observer, what have you picked up? What have you, what walls have you been leaning on, and what have you been able to witness and bring into your own?
Well, I've been in camp with Andre Ward. I went in camp a little and helped out with Sam Solomon. I'm pretty sure there's someone else, but I can't really think of. And, I've worked with also upcoming prospects, also in my weight class, Dominique Wade or whatever. And I would say my favorite is Andre Ward, man, because he's such a student of the game, and his boxing IQ was just off the charts, man. And his technique is so basic and simple, and it's just phenomenal how he uses it, opposed to the guys who are super slick or have all this power. And we've seen it when he was in the Super 6. A lot of people doubted that he would win that, and he went in there with his basics and his technique and his sparks, and he dismantled everybody. He dismantled I can't remember the guy's name, but he stopped him that everyone thought was going to knock him out. And it's always beautiful working with Andre Ward because it's not just and I was just recently in camp with him. It's not just going in trying to prove myself to show him that I'm an upcoming prospect. He's like, man, yeah, it ain't always about going crazy. It's about learning and knowing what you're doing. And that's what it is. And you got a lot of fighters, even, some who are, with grace of champions, who don't look at it that way sometimes.
I just want to, before I ask this question, I want to just say this so you can see where I'm coming from. I know GH3 works well with others. I know that it would not be any it wouldn't be weird to see you get matched with other promoters because they work so well and they have great relationships with various networks. The thing is that you're the main event for ShoBox, and there are a lot of good fights and a lot of great fighters on that card. So to me, I think it's a big deal that they're showcasing you, and you've become that guy who's been showcased. You've been the A side so long. Are you prepared to essentially become the B side when you have to step up because you've been the A side for so long and maybe you've gotten used to being that it guy? Are you prepared to be the B side in a fight that you got to win to propel your career against a big name?
Well, here's the thing. On paper, I'm the A side, but to myself, I always feel like the B side. So it wouldn't be any much different opposed to it just being said on paper that I'm the B side. Because I always feel like I got to prove myself. I'm always this young kid who's younger than everybody else. I'm always, this kid with this baby face who doesn't look mean, who all the older guys laugh at. So to me, embedded in myself, I'm always the B side. I always got to step up, So, I guess the only difference would be if it was on paper in front of a whole bunch of different lights and, certain different people watching. But to myself, upon myself, I consider myself always the B side. So I always work just as hard. And I'm always just as prepared.
Well, Anton, on my last question, I just want to ask about that Mike Sorrow fight, man. I went back and watched it again today, and it's the only blemish on your record. And in the first round, I thought you won that easily, and then you just turned it around and you started stalking him down instead of boxing from the outside. What was it that you saw that made you want to be the come forward aggressor instead of the slick boxer that you were in that first round?
I would say a lack of knowledge. Me being, so much of a fighter, I always want to engage. I feel like I'm not fighting and I'm not doing enough if I'm not engaging, if I'm not, not making contact, and that's what we're working on. You know, taking my time and working off my jab, which, like you said, I did in the first round. And I mean, that's you know, all I can say just was a lack of knowledge. I would say lack of experience. You know, in that fight.
Did you think you didn't do enough to deserve the win? Did you feel the draw was fair, or did you thought you did enough?
Well, after watching the tape, immediately after the fight, I was disappointed with myself highly. But after watching the tape, you know, I look like, you know, I won that fight either by a round or two. I feel like I did enough either by a round or two to have won that fight.
And watching what Soro was able to do to Glenn Tapia, and for those that don't know, Mike Soro went on to fight Glenn Tapia on True TV and stop him in the 4th round. Did you feel better about yourself that a guy with all the hype of Glenn Tapia, with the Freddie Roaches, the trainer, and I'm training in California, and here you are 2 years as a pro, and you know you fought a draw that you thought you beat with a guy that knocked out, you know, a blue chipper in Glenn Tapia?
I mean, yeah, and I watched that fight. That was a great performance by Michael Soro. But I didn't really consider, I guess, the level of fighting magnitude between, you know, me and Glenn Tapia, this and that. It was, I mean, I didn't consider that too much, so I didn't really look at it as a weighing factor, you know, between levels of, you know, him beating Glenn Tapia, whatever. It was just because the fact that I got a draw, you know, regardless of the fact, you know, it's still on my record. So, you know, him beating, you know, it really didn't mean much to me the way the levels, you know, to give any thought of feeling good about it.
Man, I totally understand. No, I get it. I get it. It's like that motto: "With he don't make you." You know, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, Antoine, listen, man, that's all our questions. If you have any social media, please give it out this time so that any of our listeners could follow you if they don't already know about Antoine Action Douglas, who's going to be fighting July 17th on Showtime on the ShoBox series. Brother, thank you for giving us the opportunity. And like I said, any social media you have, you can say it now.
All right, thank you, man. On Twitter, I'm at That Action Kid, which is at DATACTIONKIDD. That's on Twitter. On Instagram, my actual page, my official page is OOH_MR_EASY, which is Ooh Mr. Easy. And Facebook, I'm just Antoine Douglas.
All right, Antoine, man. Thank you, brother.
And thank you, too, for the interview, man.
All right. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Gina, thank you again. There you have it, Antoine Douglas. And don't forget, in 8 minutes, we're going to be having Jessie Vargas coming off of that big Bradley fight. Lots to talk about with Jessie Vargas for sure. So let's just jump into the man. I really don't want to go here, but it's part of the itinerary. We all know that ESPN is going to be making the inaugural ESPN PBC on ESPN on July 11th, and they've acquired the services of Marisol Castro, who will be on site with the PBC on ESPN, and she's going to be serving as the host. Happy to be back, or I'm happy to see them back. It's Todd Grisham and Bernardo Osuna and Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas. I've always liked those guys as a combination, and I know that Atlas is going to be honest. We'll see just how much Haymon has a black hand over boxing if Atlas isn't Atlas. You know, we know Atlas to be Atlas, so let's see if he's still himself. And obviously, these are the commentators on the card that's going to be headlined by Keith Thurman, who's going to be taking on Luis Collazo, and on the undercard, a solid matchup with Tony Harrison versus Willie Nelson. You were saying, Myra?
Well, the one thing I will say is that Atlas has not in the past ever pulled punches when it comes to Haymon fighters, especially when the Haymon fighters were getting mismatches on Friday Night Fights. He would say it. He would say it loudly, and he would embellish on it. I mean, he had no problems calling a spade, especially when it was a Haymon fighter, a young Haymon fighter, getting that easy win. We saw that a lot towards the end with young Haymon fighters getting in there with guys that had no business being in there with them, and Atlas said it. So I really fully expect the same guy. I don't think that there is any way that Teddy won't be Teddy. I don't think he has any other way of being. You know, I don't think, and we've seen that in his career as a trainer when he wasn't able to train guys the way that he wanted. He didn't make any, especially when they were like guys that were coming up, he didn't make any bones about it. He just didn't train them. He said, I'm not going to train you. Fine. That's it. So I'm really glad that at least we'll have that Friday night fight feel. I know Vic last night said that these fights are better than ESPN, and he's right. But there's always going to be a special place in my heart for Friday night fights. There's always going to be something that's sentimental and nostalgic about it to me. I'm always going to miss it. I'm still hoping that one day we'll get it back in some sort of fashion. You know, PBC fights are definitely going to be better, so I can't complain about that. But I'm at least glad that it's going to have that Friday night fight feel.
That's what I'm excited about. What about you, B? We haven't heard from you all day. I mean, I'm excited that these guys are still there. I like Atlas. I always wanted to see Atlas get bumped up to HBO. And, you know, I was doing some fight watching the other day. I can't remember what fight, but, you know, there was a time that Atlas was on HBO.
Oh yeah, I think he I don't know if he was actually a commentary. Didn't he?
Yeah, they called him over like Teddy Atlas, and he came over, and you could hear him on there. I can't remember the fight. It was an old fight. I got to check it.
Okay.
It was a fight that he was a trainer. Who knows? But anyway, I always wanted to see him get the bump up from ESPN.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Atlas, but I do respect him, and at some points he is entertaining. I disagree with him a lot, and I kind of think he's sometimes a blowhard, and he kind of bloviates a little bit too much. But you know, people like him. You know, and he's definitely a voice in boxing. He's well respected, so it's good to have him back. I mean, there's a place for everyone in boxing. There's a lot of different personalities, and to each his own. So I'm glad that he's going to be back, and I do believe that he does love the sport, and he's very passionate about the sport, and we do need people like that sometimes in the sport. But he's a little bit too negative sometimes too, and he's a little bit too hard on the fighter. So, it is what it is. But I understand what Mario's saying.
You know what's funny? I'm not a huge Atlas guy either in terms of that. I agree with you 100%. But the one thing I like about Atlas is a thing that reminds me of you, Beeb. It really does. When y'all are passionate about a point, you make it so entertaining that it gets me on that side. Like, I disagree with Atlas far more than I ever disagree with you. You know, I would never say that y'all have similar points. Never. I think, in fact, you could say that y'all are kind of polar opposites on a lot of subjects. But that being said, the way that y'all get y'all's point across, it's like exciting. Like it just gets you, and you're like, oh man, yeah, that's how I feel. Like, you know what I mean? And so y'all are kind of similar to me in that sense, but y'all's point of views are completely different. And sometimes he's kind of an idiot. Not an idiot, but like, sometimes his points are just way out there, and so he's like that old school guy.
Comes up with these crazy analogies, and it's just like some of the stuff is just he takes you on this road that just it leads to nowhere sometimes, you know what I mean?
It's so funny though, like, and it doesn't, but at the same time, like, it's just so funny to watch, you know what I mean? Like, it's entertaining to watch, and so. And
then sometimes he'll just be talking, and out of nowhere he'll start yelling for no reason, and I'm like, Teddy, you're right. I'm right here. You don't have to scream at me. I understand what you're saying.
I just don't like the way he always shitted on people. Like, Todd Grisham, Bob Papa, like, he had no problems just shitting on people. Max Kellerman, I mean, on air, it just did not matter. He was going to shit on you.
Let's take one quick call before our Jessie Vargas interview. Roberto Ortiz, man, I'm so happy that Rob came out the closet, and he's allowing people to know that he's Rob. So, Rob, what's going on?
Well, just first of all, I just like to say I'm at the gym, so if it's a little noisy, I'll mute myself between, my soliloquies or whatever. But, I just wanted to call in regards to the whole Haymon thing, man, because I think it's just complete bullshit on both Golden Boy's and Top Rank's part. Especially Top Rank. Golden Boy, at least you could say there was some sort of inside job happening between Richard Schaefer letting contracts expire, basically just like doing something that was not going to be necessarily the most beneficial for the Golden Boy company.
that I can deal with that for sure. But what I can't deal with is top rank simply being sore losers. That's really all they are. As a fan, dude, holy shit, are you kidding me? Dude, PBC is fucking awesome. Straight up. Everything that's come out of PBC has either been a good fight on paper or a good fight on canvas. If the fight didn't turn out to be that great, you were excited for it. All right, Porter Broner didn't turn out to be the best fight, but going in, you know, people were picking both sides. No one was really sure who might win, you know? And then you complain about the catchweight. Oh, well, she's draining them. Well, that adds to the intrigue because now it's a bigger, fucking stronger guy, but it levels the playing field, makes it intriguing. All the matches are either intriguing or they play out really well on canvas. For example, Chris Arreola fighting some dude I never even heard of. Turned out to be a great fight. You know, Khan versus Algieri. Everyone thought, you know, Khan was completely outmatching them, and it was just a terrible fucking fight. It was shitty. No, that's because you overrated Khan and you underrated Algieri because you're stupid. That was a great fucking fight. Great fucking fight. Every fight. Okay, well, you know, Adrian Broner versus John Molina. Dude, Adrian Broner was still fucking trying to get his shit together after, you know, what he went through with Maidana. And John Molina was coming off a war with fucking Matisse where he dropped him twice. He had a puncher's chance and nothing else. So, you know, these were fucking good. Every fucking fight, dude. Berto Porcito Lopez was fucking amazing. Dope-ass fight, dude. Are you kidding me? Everything that they put out has been good. The only reason that it's not better is because other fighters aren't signed with them. But, you know, like Stuart said, you know, when this all ends and it goes away, you know, hope it does. That way we could go back to the way things used to be in boxing.
Well, Rob, I'm sorry to tell you. It's never going back to the way it used to be because on Thursday it was announced that a new monthly series titled PBC The Next Round will debut on August 2nd. That is the day after Danny Garcia versus Paulie Malignaggi in the Barclays Center on Bounce TV. And WBA bantamweight title match between Juan Carlos Payano and Rashid Warren. Isn't Payano somebody who fought somebody?
That's a good fight. He fought damn, let me box record real quick.
Well,
that's a
the
good
new show will focus on the prospects. Focus on prospects. Damn, it sounds like ShoBox. New show will focus on the prospects, developing new stars. Isn't that something that boxing is missing? New guys other than Mayweather, Pacquiao, Cotto? Okay. The mold that was obviously gotten from ShoBox, the next generation. The first card will emanate from the campus of the Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida, and feature a four-man junior middleweight tournament. One bout, and credit to Michael Coppinger, obviously. One bout will pit Udell Johnson versus Jorge Cota, and the other will include John Jackson versus Dennis Larnente.
This is not in the. Oh, man. Where are you getting this, Ness?
This is breaking news. I thought
it was in the itinerary. I'm like, Matt left this out of the itinerary.
I just wasn't gonna rub it in anybody's face.
Ever since he stopped smoking, man, he's coming up with more stuff.
Yo.
That just sounds fucking awful.
Hold on a minute. I just want to give out one big piece of the winner of Johnson versus Cota and Jackson versus Larente will face off at a later date. So again, this is a junior. Is it junior? Did I say junior?
I thought you said middleweight.
Okay, middleweight. Let me double check. Go back.
Real quick, Payano's the guy that beat Anselmo Moreno.
Oh, yes, he is. Back in September.
Yeah, that's going to be a good
fight. Payano's Dominican. Woo! He represented the Dominican Republic.
Yo, you just called them all bums, dude.
Hey. Wait a minute. So wait a minute. Because I accept that our fighters are typically bums, I can't root for the guys that are good.
DR's coming back. DR's coming back, man.
I don't know.
All I want to say is that this junior middleweight tournament, Mario was incorrect. Junior middleweight tournament taking place in the university in Winter Park, Florida.
Great venue.
That's good. And Bounce TV is the fastest growing African American network in the U.S.
I hope I have it. I hope I have it.
Phenomenal network. Phenomenal. network.
Hey, Rob, I gotta go. Gina's on the line. Oops, Gina, I'm so sorry. I hope Jessie doesn't get mad at us there. Let's see. Where are we? Here we go. Gina, you there?
I'm here, and I have Jessie Vargas with me.
Jessie Vargas, how you doing? The man of the hour, brother. How you feeling?
I'm feeling physically I'm good. Just got back to Vegas a few days ago and enjoying my family. Still a little down just over the decision. It's tough when you come out one round and say, you know what, I gotta do. I want to do something big, just to make sure that we get it in. And you do find that something big, but and as a result, basically you consider winning by TKO, and then they switch it up a few minutes later. It's just a tough position, but we're getting through it, and we're just trying to see what's up next.
So Jessie, I'm gonna just start off right from the bat. I'm gonna opening round. I'm gonna throw my biggest bolo at you, and it's the question that everyone's asking themselves: do you really think that with 4 seconds left, you could stop Timothy Bradley, even though Ruslan Provatnikov could not, Manny Pacquiao could not, Diego Chavez could not, all guys that have big punching power?
Listen. My answer to that is, of course. Just like everyone thought that I would never be able to knock or hurt Timothy Bradley, I did. And just like that, people could say that you wouldn't have done anything, but I could have. Just like I proved wrong in that round that I did have the power to hurt him. He was severely hurt. If you paid attention to when I took a step back and separated myself from Timothy Bradley, as soon as I did that, the ref came in instantly. But the moment you see Timothy Bradley down towards the canvas, hands down, a few inches away from inches away from the canvas, head down. Are you telling me that I couldn't put a right hand over the top of the head, on the forehead? What? I mean, he was in bad conditions, man. And all I needed was that one shot, of course. Now, did the ref want me to knock him out? Maybe it was. If he did, sure, it would have been on the canvas without a doubt. Would he have got up? I don't know. We don't know the results of it. You know what I mean? That's the thing. One referee clearly stated was, in every round, when I hit the 10-second mark, I'm gonna get a little closer to you. At the end of the round, when I hear the bell, I'm gonna extend one of my hand out in between you and your opponent. Any punch, it's an illegal throw. In the 12th round, he waved that fight off. He pushed me off, waved it off. I saw myself as the winner, and so did Timothy Bradley, because a few minutes after that, he congratulated me, and he told me, "You're a great champion." Going with the conclusion that I had won the fight. That didn't happen. Now they switched the decision, so many people came into the ring. The referee changed his decision. He said that it's gonna be. He said it was a mistake. And he thought it was the bell. Well, then if we come down to the facts, they didn't give me my 3 minutes to finish off my fight. We don't know what could have happened in that. But I would have loved to find out if he didn't consider stopping it. He did say in the ring as well. He said, "Listen, let's see you hurt. No one's gonna die in my ring. If I see you hurt, I need you to react. If I don't see you punching, if I don't see you doing anything, I'm gonna stop the fight."
But Jessie, you don't think he reacted? Because I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you landed the perfect right hand. He walked into it, you threw it. It was beautiful. But when you tried to land the left hook to the body, which was intelligent of you not to headhunt after hurting him, you tried to go to his body. He dropped his left hand. He blocked that. You tried to go upstairs. he blocked that as well. And when you went in, he held you. You wouldn't say that he had his composure. He was pretty.
As soon as that happened, he was trying to hold me. I pushed. I got 3 punches in. I found my way out. At that moment, I know he was in there. He was very weak. Easily, I hit him with 3 shots. Body, and continued hitting him. And as soon as I took that step back, he just folds. He folds. And it's not like you can go back and look. He folds. Are you telling me now? I'm gonna ask you. Are you telling me having someone folded, head down, hands down, not able to protect himself? I'm not gonna be able to run up and come in with a big right hand. One last shot in 1 second.
Listen, what I'll tell you,
we won't know that. That's the thing.
What I will tell you is this: that I hate that you feel robbed of what would have been a beautiful moment. If things would have went the way that you immediately thought, it would have been a rocky moment. You know, you're down on the cards and you come back with that one punch. The beauty of boxing, where any round could be the last round. So I'm saddened that it didn't go the way that you expected it to go. I am gonna pass you to my other co-host. My name is Ness. I'm gonna pass you now to Mario or Joe Habib. I don't want to hog up all your time.
Jesse, let me ask you a question, because what it looked like to us is that you thought that it was a stoppage, and so did I for quite a while. But what it looked like on television is you didn't realize that they were going to a decision until they started to announce the decision. The look on your face, it was like you still thought that it was a stoppage victory. At what point did you realize that you didn't get the stoppage, that they were going to the cards?
When I saw a few people running up, yelling at the, it was because I was celebrating, and I was, very, very happy. I just did it. I knew that it was a tough fight to score, on my side, and I needed that round, big time, and I needed a big punch as well, and I'm celebrating. And I'm observing other people looking, they're yelling at the referee. It's a movement that you normally don't see, and that's when when I don't know where I heard someone told me. I can't, and he was very, very angry himself. And I said, "What? How was that?" Like a little bit before they gave the decision, I just couldn't believe it.
And that's terrible, man. And I feel bad because, like Ness said, I mean, if you had that opportunity, we don't know what would have happened, but you would have created a moment that would have lived on HBO. We saw the 1,000-year. How crazy is it that we saw the 1,000-year highlights and all the highlights for the 1,000 fights before, and they said that this was going to mark the first of the next 1,000. And we would have gotten treated to something like that. So that being said, knowing how big that moment could have been, have you forgiven referee Pat Russell? Do you accept his excuse and the fact that he thought that he had heard the bell, which in fact was the 10-second mark?
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Okay.
I mean, it's my career that he was playing with. You know what I mean? And it was a moment. Made a decision. I don't know. I'm not Pat Russell. But if he made that decision, he either stuck with it or he let the fight go. And you don't let. I mean, it's a case that should never happen. I wish it onto no one. Now if you lose a fight, you accept it. Would be able to accept it, as I said. If I lost, no problem. But I went the full 12 rounds and did my best. But that's not the case. I came out that round looking for a big punch. I found it. I landed it, and I had him. If you wanted me to the canvas and knock him out completely, you should have just let me take it. You should have let me continue. And what happened? That moment would have been memorable. I think it would have been unforgotten. It would have been history. You know what I mean? A case like that. You know,
Absolutely.
like you said, so boxing is about 1 second, one punch can change the entire fight. And at that moment, the last 10 seconds of the fight, you look for it. That's just showing that I'm the type of guy that just never gives up, no matter how the fight is going.
Now, my last question before I pass you off.
I take pride in it.
No, and you should, and I completely agree with you. I think that you have absolutely right to feel the way you do. My last question before I pass you off to my other co-host, Beeb, is we got the ratings back for the fight, and they were really good. 1.2 million people watched it. That was a big number. Typically, Bradley hasn't been a big draw. And I think that you have to give credit to you and the Mexican support that you have behind you. So, in a sense, even though it was a really, very unfortunate moment in your career, and even though you can't really look at it now and take it as a chalk it up to a learning experience, can you say that at least with that rating that you got, maybe a rematch on the way, that at least there are some benefits, and that maybe you were the guy that ended up selling the fight? I mean, do you think that you were the A side, even though Bradley had been in with the bigger names, because of the rating and the fact that Bradley had never done that before?
I think that I have a part in it, without a doubt. I mean, I would have wished, hey, if I wouldn't have the ratings and I get the win, I would have been fine with that too. But what I am happy with is that my fans enjoyed the fight, because at the end of the day, I'm an entertainer, and I'm here to entertain them, and the fight resulted in giving them a good, exciting fight. I wish, of course, I wish it would have ended differently. They would have let me end my fight the right way, the full 12 rounds. This is still growing. So we expect bigger, more viewers in the future as well.
Jesse, did you? Yes, I hear you. Jesse, did you feel as though you needed to do something like that in the 12th round? Did you have to stop him? Did you feel like you were behind going into that last round?
Coming into that fight, coming into that 12th round, I knew I had to. I felt that I couldn't let it go. I didn't know how the scorecards were going. I felt that it was close. I really did feel it was close. It was a close fight because it was competitive. It was him, it was me, and fourth. And I felt that I needed that round. I could have decided it all. And I wanted to finish it strong with a big impact. And I was looking for a big punch as well. As you saw me, I was like a hunter hunting his prey. Just taking my time, looking for that shot, and it came. I should have done it earlier. Whenever I talk about it, I say, man, I should have looked for it earlier, but that's a big learning experience, but it came then. I mean, you just can't change things, If it came then, it came then. It came at a good time, and I just wish that they would have given me the opportunity to finish it.
Do you think that?
I mean, because.
Okay. Do you think that he believes himself definitively that he would have finished, or do you think he's just saying that after the fact? What are your thoughts on his actual statements after the fight when he said that he would have survived that barrage from you at the end?
Gina, did we lose him?
I don't think so. Jesse, are you there?
Gina, make a new connection anyway. It's really bad.
Okay.
All right. I'll look for you. All right.
Man, he's taking it hard, and I think he has every right to. I really do.
Yeah.
I think that no matter what you want to say,
Mario, I'm just going to interrupt you because I'm your friend, so I'm trying to protect you. They're killing you in the chat. They're saying you was on the saddle.
Well, and that's fine. Look, I have my own opinions about it, but these people don't know what it's like. They have no idea what it's like to be that close.
Mario's trying to empathize with the guy. I mean,
and that's what exactly. It's a big moment.
The worst thing in the world that he wants to hear now is people dumping on him. I mean, at the end of the day, he did come up with a beautiful 12th round, and he was seconds away from stopping Timothy Bradley. That says that that deserves something to be said about that.
Exactly. Thank you, Beeb. I actually that's the way I feel. I mean, I could give my personal reflection on it, and congratulations to Ness.
Look at Ness's face. I love this kid ever since he stopped smoking. He's so funny now.
Yo, and that's the thing. Like, look, Ness, has his views. I have my views, and to be honest, we probably share the same view on this and the way it would have turned out. But man, you don't want that, question mark in the back of your mind. You just don't want it.
Got him
Gina,
back?
we're back with you. Vargas, you there? B, pick it up.
I'm sorry about that, man. Yeah, I lost signal.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard my last question. You want me to repeat it? I'll do that for you. What I said was, do you really believe that he feels as though he would have lasted that 12th round? Do you think he's second guessing himself, or do you think he was just saying all those things after the fact?
Second guessing himself, without a doubt. He doesn't want a rematch. He said in the HBO interview that he did, gave me his word. And then in the press conference, he comes in and changes it, and he said, no, I'm not a rematch type of guy. I don't know word for word, but he said no rematch. That means he knows what will happen in the second one. He knows that he was gone. He knows that he was out. And I mean, I saw his eyes, and all I needed was one punch, man. That's what I'm always going to remember. If the ref wanted me to put him in the canvas, it could have been done. But I hope that he does give me the rematch. Just.
Have you talked to?
They didn't give me my full 3 minutes, man. No matter what, they didn't give me my full time to finish the fight. The fight is not finished.
Have you talked to Bob Arum, or have you talked to anybody to try to get this rematch going? Have you proceeded with any type of talks, or have you reached out to anyone to try to move forward with this?
My manager. I reached out to my manager, and I'm hoping that he can put the rematch together. That he can talk with Bob. That he can schedule a meeting with Bob and myself as well, and hopefully we can talk and we can start talking about the rematch.
Now, you actually, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, did you guys protest this fight at the end? And if so, how is that going right now?
Yeah, I mean, my manager is taking care of it right now. He's taking care of it, and we'll hope that it results well for us.
Now, do you think that this was an honest mistake, or do you think that there could have been funny business going on here? Do you think that Pat Russell may have stepped in to save Tim Bradley, or do you think he just made an honest mistake? What are your thoughts on that?
It did really seem that he stopped the fight. He was paying close attention to Timothy Bradley. You can see it in the video. He was paying very close attention. He saw how hurt he was, and I don't know what it was. For a fact, I don't know. I felt that he stopped the fight. I mean, he saw him hurt and he stopped it, and then afterwards, I don't know if afterwards he said that it was because he thought it was the bell, but I don't know how you confuse the 10-second warning for a bell. It's just, I don't know how that could happen. I mean, could you? I mean, who mistakes a 10-second warning for an actual bell? Like, it's just two different sounds. It's hard to really understand.
Now, I know Ness compared, this situation to the Provodnikov situation that Bradley was in, and I'm going to ask you, what do you believe the difference was in terms of what Provodnikov did and what you did? Do you believe that you had him more hurt than Provodnikov did?
Because I faced myself on that one punch. That's the punch that I was looking for in the 12th round, and it came, and I landed it very effectively with plenty of power behind it. I don't know the difference. I think that maybe because I just focused on that one punch instead of a combination. I don't know what was the difference. Because I connected it right on the chin. It was a good spot. I'm surprised he didn't go down, but he was going to.
Now, I'm just going to ask you one last question, and I know this may be difficult to answer, but in losing, you still made a great account of yourself. You almost knocked him out in the last round. Can you take anything positive away from this fight moving forward? Do you think people will look at this and say, you know what? Maybe Jessie Vargas can hit harder than we thought. Maybe Jessie Vargas has a great fight coming up after this. He's proved that he can hang in there with a top-level fighter after this. You know, let's throw him in there with another top-level fighter based off of this performance. Do you see it that way?
This definitely, if I look at it from the positive, it definitely can. It's another big experience for me. Every fight is a big learning experience. You know, you learn from it, from every fight. And this is another one. I guess this is my first time that I looked for one punch and I connected it with a lot of my power behind it. So I learned that also, that I could set up a one punch setup. So it's going to be something that I'm going to add to my arsenal. And the viewers, I think the viewers, that's something big that I gained. You know, they enjoy the fight. That's one thing that's very, very positive.
Jesse, you mentioned the viewers. My name is Enrique. I'm known as the casual fan on the show. I am casual when it came to your fight. I heard your name in the past against Manny Pacquiao. Obviously, Pacquiao moved on to Mayweather, and then you're fighting Timothy Bradley, and you lose. So, in my eyes, you lost, and you landed one big punch. Now, so clear, did you plan to land that big punch in the 12th round? Was that a planned punch to happen?
That was a punch that, yeah, I was looking for it.
You planned that punch,
and I found it. I
All right.
planned that punch in the round. I mean, I was looking for it. You see me, I'm ducking low, I'm staying low, and I'm taking my time. I'm letting him throw those 3 pads that he throws, and bam, I let it go.
All right. So now, moving on from that.
Looked at that same punch, but I was looking for that punch in particular. You know what I mean? Just for the right time.
Yeah. All right. So I know you answered tons of the questions about that fight. Now, moving on, you're promoted by Top Rank, and there's a lot of there's the lawsuit that's coming up now. And on the show, I've learned, right, being a casual fan, that there's like the ceiling is really low with Top Rank fighters. The stable isn't deep. Now, who can you fight next if Bradley doesn't give you that rematch? And are you considering or hopes that they're able to be matched up with Golden Boy fighters or PBC fighters even?
Well, I'm gonna leave it up to my promoter. You know, whoever he wants me to face, I'm willing to do that. If they don't give me the rematch, I'm really just shooting for the rematch. I'm hoping I will get it. But if not, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. You ask me who I want to fight, I'll fight anybody. You know, anybody on Golden Boy, anybody fighting on any other promoter with any television. I don't back down from anyone. As long as the prettier the name, the better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, an easy question I have right now for you is from a fighter's perspective, a prize fighter's perspective. Do you envy the PBC fighters' contract? You know, I hear that they get millions of dollars, and that, you know, the other guys on the other field, they get in the 100,000s. Is that like something that you think about? Like, man, I wish I was on that side of the fence.
Not at all, man. Not at all, man. To be honest, right now, if you ask me to envy, I mean, the only thing I'm thinking about is just what they stole from me. You know, I can't really think of anything else. Money-wise, if anyone is making money than me, for them. If anyone's making less money than me, I hope that they make more. You know, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I don't bring myself down because of it. You know, I'm happy with where I'm at. Of course, I'm not happy with the decision. I'm not happy with the loss. You know, now taking that away, you know, me as a man, I mean, boxing is my career, but if anyone was to know me as a person, as a man, I think that's more valuable than anything else. You know what I mean? I love when I get beat. At the end of the day, I'm Jessie Vargas, the person that that is straightforward, that doesn't like to lie, doesn't like to cheat anyone, that knows that there's plenty of cheaters out there in this world, that there's plenty of, it's a crooked society, it's a crooked world, but when you try to maintain yourself straight and keep the people around you that are positive, to anybody out there, I mean, kind of who has what, who has more money, who has less money, it's really on the value of the person himself or herself, you know what I mean? And I keep myself up there, and so no matter what.
Jessie,
that's what does it. I'm focused on money with anyone.
I wanted to ask how'd the conversation go post-fight with Eric Morales, because he seemed to want you to throw combinations every round that they allowed us to hear instructions. It seemed like he wanted you to throw combinations, but you really wouldn't give him the combination. He was asking for 3s and 4s. You were doing 1s and 2s.
That's right, man. I mean, I wasn't letting go of my right hand just like they asked me to. The only thing I fought was the left hand. You saw it. My left hand, my jab, my left hand. Every now and then I throw right. But it was just my left. My right hand wasn't.
But was it something that he was doing that wasn't allowing you? Was it something that Bradley was doing that wasn't allowing you to throw the right hand, or you were just trying to sleep him and make him think maybe that it was hurt because you weren't?
No, I was just my right hand was off. It was a weird feeling.
It was off until it was on, though, right?
My right hand was off. Say what?
I said it was off until it was on in that last round, right?
You can say it was on. It's just in the angle that it came in, I tried my best to land it, and it did. It's just my right hand was off. What else you want me to tell you? You know what I mean? It wasn't the typical right hand. If you see that punch again in slow motion, it was the typical right hand.
No, you misunderstood me. You misunderstood me. You were saying that your right hand was off, and I was saying that it was off until it was on in that 12th round is when it turned on and you landed the big punch. But immediately after the fight, did you have an opportunity to talk to Bob, and did he express interest in a rematch? And do you think that a rematch is more possible now that the numbers came back and you guys did above 1 million?
I hope so, man. I really do. I hope so, because I know that no matter what, Timothy Bradley was going to fight, and I will too. And we gave you an interesting fight, and I think that this will be even more entertaining because I would come back with a vengeance. That's how I feel, and he would come back trying to prove a point. So I hope that we can put it together. And my promoter Bob Bear, my manager Cameron Duncan, that they could all sit down and we can negotiate a rematch. I think it's fair.
Well, Jessie, man, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, just coming off of such a big fight, and you giving us this opportunity to interview. You were a great sport. If you have any social media you want to give it out at this time so anyone who isn't already following your, successful career can do so.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for having me on the show. I had a nice time. You and everyone else on the show, and follow me on Instagram, Jessie Vargas_, on Twitter, Instagram, and thank you. I just want to thank everyone for the support. I hope that they enjoyed the fight. And whether you were on the side, I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vargas, and thank you, Gina. Let's take some callers here. What do we got? We have, let me try 908 again. 908, you're there, brother. Are you just still listening? I guess so.
Yeah, I'm here now. I'm on now. I want to talk. What's up,
What's up, brother?
Yeah.
Listen, yo, Jessie Vargas took this loss so personal. A part 2 would be fucking, I think, I'm not even hyping it. Maybe I'm cold, but I feel like this kid took this shit so personal. A part 2 would be a barn burner. I feel like that. Because he definitely, it's the first loss of his career. He's had a nice career, and he's young, and this, this is what great fighters are made of. How you respond, how you react. It almost doesn't matter who he fights after this, because I could see him, even though, the whole Cold War kind of thing with the promoters, I could see him not taking any gimmies and wanting top fights and turning down, guys that he could easily beat or outbox. Like almost what Timothy Bradley did. Like when you feel like you get it, in Bradley's case, it was a win that people didn't respect. So he went out in a blaze kind of with Provodnikov. So Vargas, I think he'll do the same thing with this loss against Bradley. He's going to go in there, and he can still box, but he's going to go in there trying to light everybody up. And I'm proud of him. I like his temperament, and I wish him much success, man. And I enjoyed the fight, obviously. I had Bradley winning, though. I did have Bradley winning. Everybody had Bradley winning. So, it was a good fight, though, probably.
No, definitely it was. And that's the only point that I'm trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody talking all this mess. And look, I'm going to just make this point real quick. All right, I played baseball in high school. I tried to play baseball in college. I'm 5'6". I'm a terrible athlete. Never had a chance to play D1 ball. I tried to play at a D2 school. I tried to walk on. I got redshirted. They kept me on the practice squad, and I eventually quit. But if I would have never gotten that opportunity, if I would have never gone after it and left that question mark, I'd be 28 right now wondering, damn, did I have it? Like, could I have done it? There are guys my size in the MLB. Could I have done it? But at least I know, and that's my only point. That's why I empathize with him, because regardless of whether he did have a chance or not, and you believe it, the point is he has that question mark. If he would have gotten to finish and he didn't get the stoppage, then guess what? He at least knows. But if he did get the stoppage, oh man, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my only point, is that question mark is hard to live with.
After listening to that interview, I want to get a petition going, man. I want him to get the rematch now, man. The kid moved me.
Yeah, he did.
The kid moved me. I'm sorry. This kid was really passionate about this fight, and he really, really had his heart and soul into trying to beat Timothy Bradley. I'm going to get a petition going for the kid now.
Yeah, but he should have done that in the 11 rounds, man. It should have done that. Yo, it is your opinion, dude with a shitty ass screen name, but all your opinions are negative. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, either change it or get blocked. I mean, it's that simple. I've given you thousands of opportunities to be a grown up adult. 718 Suleiman the Scholar, talk to us.
Oh no.
Suleiman the Scholar.
Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, it's true what Habib's saying. The gentleman, he's very sincere. He deserves a rematch. I mean, in my opinion, it could have been more.
Suleiman, I don't understand because you just found us not too many months ago, right? And then I don't understand, like, you want Amir Mansour, I go and interview Amir Mansour. You the only dude with a Jessie Vargas tattoo, saying that he won the fight. I get Jessie Vargas on the show. You don't even call in like, oh, Boxing Voice, man, you guys are great, man. You know I was rooting for Vargas. Nah, you don't do none of that. You just act like it's a regular show. That's crazy, bro. Thanks, man. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, you guys are great. You put Jessie Vargas on the show. You put the top fighter. I mean, you guys see how he feels because he had a
No, but I'm just bringing up the fact that I did two personal favors for you. You wanted Amir Mansour. You did.
And I appreciate that. You gotta understand, him and Amir Mansour have similarities, right? Amir Mansour is not signed for PBC, okay? Amir Mansour, he's being docked in the heavyweight division. Nobody want to talk about him. They give nothing but excuses. But if Amir Mansour got a chance to fight Deontay Wilder, it's gonna be a bomber. Okay, if he fight Klitschko, he's gonna come with the right game plan to win. He's gonna come in.
Yeah, but Suleiman, you heard what Wilder said, right? That he knows people in Amir Mansour's camp, and Amir Mansour just thirsty for a fight. He don't got no money. He need to fight.
That he don't got no money. He need to fight. Yeah, but why he don't sign him? How come nobody else signs him? How come nobody want to fight him? And the same thing with Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas was a WBA regular champion, right? He comes up at another division. Bob Arum signs him up. He's supposed to be the new fighter with the new Oscar de la Hoya for the division. He goes into the ring. He starts tap every single time he tap Bradley. Bradley is hurt. Okay, Bradley has a great boxing style, but every single time you tag him in that division, I've been saying it for a while. I'm not making this up. When he fought Diego Chavez, he was beat up bad. They could have stopped the fight any round they wanted. He looked horrible in that fight. This fight here too, he was getting tagged, and every single time he tagged, and even the referee was scared because the guy was taking the shots back. Okay, so now the final round, Jessie Vargas tagged him. Okay, and the referee stops the fight legitimately. But the problem with the referee is that the referee was so old that he couldn't stand his ground. He couldn't stand his ground because when they came up, yo, what's the problem, bro? He should have said, look, I stopped the fight. Timothy Bradley can't take the punishment. But he was so intimidated by all these people there, right, that he didn't stand with the ground. The kid won the fight. And then now, Timothy Bradley is doing the hippie shake. He don't want to give him a rematch. He should fight, give him a rematch. Okay, and this is exactly I could see why Church came in and interviewed him, and he bought the PBC because this is the reason why a lot of fighters are leaving Top Rank. Okay, at the end of the day, this is the reason Top Rank is hurting right now. A lot of fighters are being treated very badly. Okay, Timothy Bradley is the poster child of what I'm saying. He gets put in the ring with these guys. He comes with his little fancy boxing style. He gets beaten to a pulp from pillar to post. And then they say, oh, he's so great. He's a pound-for-pound fighter. He's so great. He's not great. He looks horrible at 147. He got lucky when he fought for Mike Picard the first time. The second time, he broke two of his ankles. Okay? I mean, they put him with Diego Chavez. La Hoya beats him to a pulp, and they don't stop the fight. And then everybody's saying, Bob Arum, also, he's talking about venues, right? That PBC is touching all the venues, right? Why he don't go to the newspaper venues? Nobody's touching the newspaper venues. He could go to New York Times, make a Bob Arum boxing column, and touch a new venue, right? He could touch Daily News. He could touch New York Post. He could touch a untapped market that how you call Haymon hasn't touched. Okay, in the old times, Bill Gallo had the New York Daily News, right? All these guys, Oscar De La Hoya too. They're crying about Haymon, but they're not. Who they have in their staff that's making new ideas for them? They go to the newspapers, touch a whole new venue, untapped venue. Right now in the Daily News, I remember when I was a kid, I'm looking for Mike Tyson fight, who he won. You don't even see it on the newspaper. They don't do no more because Bill Gallo died. Okay, why is Bob Arum going to Daily News and talking to him? Why isn't Bob Arum going to New York Times doing it? Okay, so all he's doing is crying because he sees Al Haymon making venues, creating hotbeds to build talent. I mean, Jessie Vargas went to BBC right now. Jessie Vargas would have been the biggest thing, the new De La Hoya, but he's over here in Bob Arum. Sitting on the sideline.
Suleiman, I gotta interrupt you. I just got a breaking news email that says, "What up, fellas? This Adrian Suleiman the scholar needs his crow big time from last week. If he's listening, he didn't man up and ask you for it. Laughing my butt off. I was told to remind you."
Let me get it with Ron Gandules right there. But the problem is...
Yeah, but why you didn't ask for it like a man, bro? Like, why you didn't
know what?
say,
I needed two. I needed two also. I picked Vargas.
Boss, the kid won the fight, boss. The kid won the fight.
Yeah, but what's on the record books is Vargas lost, bro. So eat your crow like a grown up.
I'll share it with you.
A little barbecue sauce on top, a little salad, a little potato salad, a nice pretty girl, nice fine woman. You know what I mean?
Suleiman, man, thank you for calling in, brother. We're going to get to some other callers. We got a lot of people here. 832, you're up. Who's this?
Come back to me next.
Come back to you? Okay. He said come back to him, right? You said come back to you, right?
I thought he said
You said come back to you, or what'd you say, brother? NL?
Yeah, I'm back in the truck in the hole right now. Just come back.
All right, brother. 336, you're up. Who's this? 336. 16 minutes left on the live feed. If you want to talk to any of the hosts or you just want to talk, you want to brag, you want to talk about any of the interviews, 646-478-3068 is the number. If you're listening on YouTube, please press the thumbs up button, share it to all your social media, and while you're on the internet, don't forget to like our Facebook page, Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Periscope. I don't know if you see my video on Periscope with all the new equipment that I bought.
Periscope is awesome. Periscope
I
is
got
awesome.
so much stuff, man. I got selfie sticks that Bluetooth activated. I got adapter lenses for this camera. See this thing? This is a sweet case. You take this thing off right here, and then you just adapt 3 different lenses. I got a fish lens, CPL lens, a wide, a Marco. Man, listen, I'm gonna bring you behind the scenes in 3D because I also bought a new light just for Periscope. I even got a boom mic for my iPhone mic. I'm gonna give you top quality live. I cannot control internet though. Okay, so don't be like, no, this is choppy. Yo, chop these nuts. Anyway, let's get some callers. 647. You're up. Who's this? 647.
Yvonne.
What's going on, Yvonne? First time caller? Sound like it.
No, I call you guys all the time. I'm calling from Toronto, Canada.
Yo, I never heard you say Yvonne before, but what's going on, brother?
You said your name was Nelta.
People call me Ivan, but it's Yvonne.
Yvonne, why is it Yvonne? Because you're Spanish?
From Twitter?
He's French. Are you French Canadian?
Yeah, I'm Latino.
No, he's Latino, so it's Yvonne.
Oh, I'm
Isn't
so sorry.
are you Ivan? Are you Ivan from Twitter?
That's right.
Oh, what up, dude? This guy, yeah, he listens all the time. What are you talking about?
Okay, it's a party then.
This guy's a champ. I love when people are in great moods when they call in. I love this guy.
I tweeted you guys because I was sipping on some Coronas. Yeah, I love your show. Just want to say that I think that the referee made a bad call. I think that I've seen this referee, Pat Russell, many times, and I think that he should just, just retire because he's done so many bad calls in the past. And I think that I don't know why he didn't hear the ball because, I think that if he didn't stop the fight, I think Vargas would have landed one more shot and would have knocked out Bradley.
Definitely not. I mean, it's all guesswork at the end of the day. I mean, like I said on the other show the other day, Bradley has been in with the best fighters in the world, and he's never been stopped. I mean, he's been on the floor a couple of times where he's took a educated knee, but he's never really looked like, being blown out of there. And Jessie Vargas, let's be real, he's got no power whatsoever. He caught Bradley square on the button. It was a good punch, and Bradley walked onto the shot, and it had an effect. But Bradley did all the right things. I mean, to suggest that Jessie Vargas was going to pull out this Kovalev punch from nowhere, he's just kidding himself. And I'm afraid Jessie Vargas came on tonight, and he was very bitter about it. And I just don't get it. I mean, because anyone that knows boxing knows that fight was a one-sided fight for Bradley.
I feel bad for Vargas. I want to see him get a rematch.
Oh no, Bradley.
I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him too. I mean, at the end of the day, he got he did that celebration. He thought he'd won the fight, and it was a lot of relief in his face because he obviously knew he was down on the cards. And he exploded with joy, but it was short-lived, and rightly so. I mean, at the end of the day, the ref made a bad decision. But let's not go on Timothy Bradley's back here. He did enough to win that fight convincingly.
Yeah, no, this kind of reminds me of Mildred Taylor, Julio Cesar Chavez fight.
Yeah. Yep, it does.
Messed it up. He messed it up big time.
Very good comparison.
Give Vargas that chance to win. He was losing, but you never know what could have happened. He could have landed that punch, and you never know.
But he's never landed that punch in his whole career. So, what makes you think he was gonna pull it out of nowhere in 8 seconds? I mean, this is the problem.
That's enough time to land another big punch and knock out Bradley. You never know.
Yeah,
you just never know.
But that's enough time to kill someone if you're Golovkin or Wilder or Kovalev. But unfortunately, we're talking about Jessie Vargas here, and at the end of the day, it was never going to happen.
Yeah. No,
I don't know. I told everyone from the beginning. I said, listen, man. As soon as I saw Pat Russell, I said this is not going to be good because I've seen Pat Russell many times and he's done many bad calls. So I don't know, man.
Is he
I just
getting
think
too
that referee,
old?
honestly,
You know,
I think that referee should retire.
Well, all right, brother. Let me get to some other callers. We are coming down to 11-minute mark. We're on drive-by mode. Let's just keep it moving. Mario, go for it.
No, I don't know, man. I think he might be getting too old. Like, I hate to say that, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. There are plenty of referees and judges up there in age that are phenomenal workers. But, man, Ivan's right. He said it perfectly. This is not the first mistake he's made. And, man, I don't know, man. He might want to think about changing that career path.
Well, let's get to another caller here. 856, you're live. Who's this? 856, going once. Going. We doing good, brother. Who's this?
This is Anthony.
Anthony, where you calling from?
New Jersey, South Jersey.
All right, brother. Talk to us. First time caller?
No, I called before.
Okay.
I called a while ago about Lara to beat Golovkin. Y'all said no, but I still think it's true.
Well,
but anyway,
at least you're on the record twice, so you'll get 2 servings of crow whenever it does happen.
I'll take it, but it ain't gonna happen. So, Mario said that referee should change his career path. Like, for what? That thing is old as shit.
Yo, that was a good one, Anthony.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I didn't really have much to say about the fight. Bradley won. Vargas landed a good shot. Like, who thinks Vargas is knocking out Bradley in 4 seconds? Come on, man. Shit ain't happening.
Wait, what Anthony is this? What
Brandon?
Anthony is this?
Yo, Mario think he's Cleo. He think he knows all the callers now by heart. What?
Nah. Which Anthony is this?
I
it
guess
from Twitter?
Means, are you from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? Where you at, Anthony?
Facebook, and I'm on IG, but.
Oh, okay. I think this is the dude that we were having the conversation about the fight after the fight. I don't know. Maybe it's you. I don't remember. It was an Anthony.
No, he's just Anthony from
my
the
bad.
block.
My bad. Go ahead. What you call?
There you go. Yeah, Anthony from the block. Did any of y'all see the Thurman interview on ESPN?
No, I didn't. Was it good? I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
he's a great
they interviewed
interview.
him. It was like a 12 o'clock interview. They interviewed him about his fight because he's fighting on ESPN soon, and like next week, right? The week after.
Yeah, July 11th.
And they were talking about him about Mayweather and what would he do against Mayweather, and they were showing him training and asking him all these different questions. They were showing him like playing his flute in his like off time. So it seems like they're trying to build him up for that Mayweather fight, which is kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah, well, they just want to put him in the minds of casual fans and fans alike in that Mayweather talking, but there's no time for that. But listen, Anthony, we do got to keep it moving, man. We just let you chew up 3 out of 11. I mean, look at that. Actually, 4 out of 11. Let me get to some other callers here. 860, this might be CT or just someone else from Connecticut. Talk to us.
Yeah, what's going on, Ness? How you guys doing tonight?
What's up, CT?
Yeah, I agree 100% with Stuart, what he was saying. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to Jessie Vargas, but, I mean, we're talking about Jessie Vargas in Bradley's very season. He did all the right things, and I'm glad you said what you said, Ness. A lot of his shots were deflecting off Bradley's gloves, and he wasn't coming up with nothing up the middle, like no uppercuts, which I don't see any of those punches that would have gotten Bradley out of there, but then again, we're dealing with a situation where we'll never know. I'm interested in the case of doing the fight between Ali and Bradley. I think that's a very interesting fight, both athletic fighters. And I like Ali's counter-punching, boxing punching ability versus Bradley. I think he'll bring the best out of Bradley. I like that matchup.
That's a good point. We didn't even think about mentioning that. Now it looks like Saddam Ali and Timothy Bradley are up next, right?
Well, it's a possibility. I mean, that's really what's left on that side of the street, bro. Shout out to Dub, the dub bitch. People with
like
weird
that.
screen names always want a shout out. You know what I mean? Trying to kill the radio. Hey, CT, man. So, did you catch any of those interviews? Because I see you weren't on too long.
Yeah, I heard the Vargas interview. That was a good interview, and some of the earlier interviews. I liked all the interviews today. Earlier that I heard.
Cool, brother. Well, let me get to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, those guys that you interviewed earlier, their fights are on the 17th. You said.
Yeah, ShoBox Next Generation on the 17th. It's a Greg Cohen Promotions card, but Adam Lopez has a lot of hype behind him. He's got that little dangerous left hook. He's been knocking a couple people out. We all know Antoine Douglas. You know, he's right there, even though it's too soon. He's just working on his third year as a pro. I can't believe he's moving that fast. And then Derrick Webster, you know, a new guy, but I've seen him live a couple of times in my history covering fights, man. But yeah, we'll see what happens out, man. It wasn't really anything to be a headliner. I mean, we could have talked about Jess, Canelo, but you know, try to give a little variety here.
All right, I'll be looking forward to those fights.
All right, thank you, CT, for calling in. 832, you're up. Who's this?
It's Wes, man. What's going on, man?
Wes, how you doing this evening?
Doing all right, man. I got two things to say. One thing, you know, Bradley is not my, he's not my type of fighter. Neither Vargas. You know, I think Bradley has a lot of heart. I think he'll fight anybody, but in skill and technical, he's not the best at that. But I will say this: I want to ask you a question, really, because everybody is, they're being, real soft on Vargas and stuff like that. But what if this was flipped? What if the script was flipped? What if?
Whoa. What exactly do you mean by soft on Vargas?
Let me finish first, because I mean, you guys. I mean, come on now. This was sour grapes to me. But I'll tell you this: if the script was flipped and the referee stopped the fight, just like, prematurely stopped the fight, and he didn't say that, it was, he heard the bell. He actually said Vargas won the fight. He got the knockout. What would you guys think right there? If Timothy Bradley say, no, this is, what you mean? I've been on my feet. I've been winning the fight. Timothy Bradley was winning the fight all the way. And next thing you know, you're going to tell me that, okay, he get a big punch and all stuff right here, and then if the referee would have stopped the fight, saying that Vargas would have won, what would you guys would have said then? And Timothy Bradley would have been complaining, just like Vargas said. What would you guys would have said then?
Well, I mean, are you talking in general to our listeners, or are you talking to the panel? I don't know who you're addressing the question to, Wes.
I'm talking to the panel.
Well, I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying.
One at a time, and I just want to say, I don't know why you're saying that. No one here said that Vargas deserved to win the fight. We all had Bradley winning. I questioned Vargas and said, come on, do you really think with 4 seconds left you're going to knock out a guy that Pacquiao didn't knock out? I mean, I don't know who's being soft on Vargas.
Well, look, I get what he's saying.
Everybody said, oh, man, you know what, 7 seconds, come on.
Wes, first of all, Wes, I think you need to go back and listen to the show, because you obviously didn't listen. If I wasn't hard, listen, if I was not hard, casual fan was so hard I had to mute him. I thought he was going to get us off the air. Where is he actually? Damn, my bad, casual.
Yeah, I get what he's saying. I get what Wes is saying. Wes, I get where you're going with this, and I'm going to explain it to you like this. If it would have been a stoppage, if Pat Russell would have actually made that decision, it would have been a terrible stoppage. You're right. Bradley was holding. He was doing all the right things. But that's not the point. Vargas's only point is he didn't get the full 3 minutes, and that's the truth. Now, I don't think he would have gotten a stoppage. That's my point. That's obviously your point. That's Ness's point. That's what the majority feel, except for Suleiman. But it doesn't change anything else about the fight. Bradley still won. He did a great job. He was winning the fight. That's all said and done. It's just a shame that there has to be that little kind of debate. Whether it's worth anything or not, it doesn't matter. There's still something there.
Hey, listen, caller, right? Show me my respect. I went in for you. I wanted to find out the truth. And yes, Mario, it is true. He does deserve the whole full 3 minutes, but the referee made a mistake. And I don't think that the 7 seconds, or even if it was 13 seconds, that he would have pulled off the upset. And I wasn't trying
60 seconds.
What I thought. I was just giving him my point of view when I was watching the fight and after the post-fight, how I felt about it.
Hey, Casual, I'll just tell you, your questions was dope. Like, you had me cringing, but I typed in the chat like, damn, that was actually a good question. Just probably need a little better delivery. He took it well though, but I thought he was gonna head for the hills and run. Everybody could see my face on YouTube. Believe me, I was like, "Oh!" I mean, Beeb covered his mouth.
Yeah, but that's what the boxing voice. That's sorry.
Good background, so.
Hey, but yes.
Yo, but you can follow me at TBV_casual_fan. I need my more followers, and I want to be dope on this show. So, I'm truly
10 seconds.
Hey, Ness.
What's up, Wes?
Hey, Ness.
What's up, Wes?
One thing I want to say, man. I'm gonna get out of here. My personal opinion about Timothy Bradley, I think, man, he's taking too much punishment.
Me too.
I'm really scared for him, man. I'm serious. In the next 10 years, man, his brain is gonna be like eggs, man, scrambled eggs. I'm serious, man. He's taking too much punishment.
Yep.
Yes, man. And to me, I think, man, he needs to slow down off these heavy, these hard fights, or he's gonna retire, man, in about 2 years, man. A year.
Well, we're yet to see that, man. People are saying he needs to he's taking too much punishment, but he outclassed the young up and coming guy. Wes, let me get to some other callers. 909, you're up. Who's this? Where you're calling from? Cut that background noise, player. 909, you're up. Who's this? Where you calling from?
What's he in a submarine?
I don't know what he was in, but he definitely ain't in nothing good.
I know a nigga who will charge you zero and throw you a kilo. I bet in a week, bro, your pockets be stuffed like Chipotle burritos.
What's up, guys? It's AB.
AB.
Hello, AB.
So look, I mean, I don't really care about the fights this weekend. All right, nothing really going on. So I want to talk about just real quick yesterday's topic I missed, and I heard you guys talking about it. And all right, so first of all, I've always said, okay, and I know, just don't jump out of your seat. I've said that Haymon is the worst thing that has happened to boxing, and the reason why I said that is because, okay, first of all, the whole Cold War happened because of Haymon. Okay, I know you guys are going to come back and say, well, it was Schaefer. Yeah, Schaefer and then Haymon managing the fighters, okay? Now, we're being blinded, okay, because all of a sudden there's free fights on NBC. But what people don't understand and realize is if there weren't the fights on NBC, they would have been on Showtime, okay? And if you look at the late 90s and early 2000s, we had the best.
AB, I just got to interrupt. How was Showtime going to fit all those fighters? This man has gone to Bounce TV, ESPN, Fox Sports Deportes, Spike TV, NBC, CN. I mean, there's no way Showtime could facilitate all those fighters.
What do you mean? How can they? Showtime was putting on cards like every single month or twice a month. They were having good fights. Now, okay, I'm talking about the good fights. He put out a bunch of BS fights on Spike TV and on NBC that no one really cared about. You know what I mean? But the good fights that he put on, they easily could have been on Showtime. Now here's the thing, okay? The lawsuit against Haymon, all right, there's got a lot of merit, okay? First of all, if you actually, yes, you yourself basically look at Haymon like a promoter. You don't even look at him like a manager. I mean, yesterday you're like, who would you rather choose, Al Haymon or Bob Arum? But Al Haymon is a manager. Bob Arum is a promoter. So,
but who cares? Who cares, though? You know the only people that care? The guys that can't get their fighters dates. That's who cares. You are a fan. Why do you care how much he's losing? Why do you care who's mad at him?
I'm going to tell you plain and simple why. The Cold War.
What war?
Cold War.
What war? Those companies, listen, those companies don't got nothing I got. Mayweather Pacquiao is over. That shit don't exist no more. So I don't care. What do they got? What fight? Listen, my friend, what fight are you yearning for? Tell me what fight you're yearning for. It has to happen.
Okay, listen to me, all right? I can go down the list in every single division, okay?
Yo, don't just. But listen, AB, please. Wait, AB, hold on, relax. I'm gonna give you time. Don't sweat it. I'm just saying, don't be a child and give me a bunch of regular fights. Give me fights that you're yearning for, fights that mean something. That it mean fights that mean we shouldn't have a Cold War.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you some. All right, Kovalev Stevenson, that's one right there. Okay,
Yep.
If there was no Cold War, that
I'll
might
take
be
it. I'll keep it moving. I'll take it. You're right.
Okay.
I agree.
Number 2, okay, I want to see Golovkin face, okay, all of Haymon's fighters.
I agree. Keep going. I agree. I want Danny Jacobs. I want Peter Quillen. I agree.
Okay, 168. Okay, people are talking about Golovkin moving up to 168, right? Well, guess what? If he goes up to 168, you can forget about him facing Badu Jack.
No, AB. No, those are hypotheticals now. Come on. You were doing good. You could do it. Think harder.
All right. Well, there's a lot of fighters with Haymon in the super middleweight category that they can't fight other people.
Okay. What's the fight?
Well, you got the Durrell brothers and all the other guys at 168.
But you're mentioning Haymon fighters. You're not saying who on the other side of the track is it that your mouth is watering for. Buddy.
What about Pacquiao and any of the welterweights that Haymon has?
Oh, thank you, Mario.
Oh, Mario coming to the rescue.
It's a big fight.
Mario coming to the rescue.
Bradley and Matisse at 140 can't fight any of Haymon's fighters. I'm sorry, not Matisse. I meant like the 140 division where you have Terrence Crawford. He's not going to be facing Haymon fighters.
He doesn't need Haymon fighters. The best at 140 is Matisse. Danny's gone. And he hasn't been the best there in a while.
Crawford moved up, right, to 140. He's
To
not
what?
going to be facing Matisse.
Why isn't he? Matisse is at 140, and Matisse is with Golden Boy. And Golden Boy does business with Top Rank. What I'm trying to prove to you is there isn't another Mayweather Pacquiao. There isn't nothing that we need them to do business with each other.
No, that's not true, Ness. I gave you good fights.
You gave me one fight. You gave me two fights. And nobody has their pitchforks out for Peter Quillen and Gennady Golovkin or Peter Quillen and Daniel Jacobs. Okay?
You know what the problem is here? We've always had these discrepancies between promoters. One guy was always not going to work with the other guy. So now all of a sudden it was all right when Oscar and Haymon were tight, and then they decided not to do business with Top Rank. But now Oscar's not tight with Haymon anymore, so now it's a different story. You know, this is all hypocrisy.
That happened because of Haymon. That's what
Well, Oscar played a part in it, and Richard Schaefer played a part in it, and everybody wants to sit there and say, "Oh, poor Oscar." No, Oscar fucking fell asleep at the wheel, and he let all this shit happen. It's his fucking fault.
Now, at the end of the day, you can't deny what Al Haymon did to Oscar De La Hoya.
No, you can't deny what Oscar De La Hoya allowed him to do to him. That's what you can't deny.
Well, no, I don't think he allowed him. He's not going to say, "Here you go,
Well,
I'm just going to take
he allowed him
off."
because he
Al Haymon
wasn't on
ratted him. You could see it the year before. I mean, where he was putting on these poor shows and that lot.
Listen,
and you could see he had his own things planned. And
with all due respect to Oscar, his drug problem did him in. With all due respect to Oscar.
Listen to me. If Oscar is not at fault, then why was Oscar, allowing some of those fights to happen where we on the Boxing Voice were obviously saying, hey, this guy is letting contracts wear out and he's keeping all these fighters signed and no promoter. He's going to be doing. I remember us saying that a lot. So
because
why?
the fighters were listening. The fighters listened to Haymon.
All right, but what was Oscar doing? But what was Oscar doing?
Making these bum fights.
But what was Oscar doing when he continued to see fighter after fighter not get re-signed? And if he didn't see that, why didn't he know? That's not how. Like, why are we supposed to feel sympathetic for a guy who wasn't paying attention?
You know what's funny? I remember talking to Lou DiBella one time, and Lou DiBella was complaining about how Oscar and Aram got all the HBO fights, got all the Showtime fights. Okay, but you know what he said? He was a man about it. You know what he said? He said, I would do the same thing if I was in their position. And you don't think Oscar and Bob, if they were in Haymon's position, wouldn't be doing the same exact thing right now? They've shown a history of doing the same thing. Now the counter argument could be, oh, but they've never done it to this large of a degree. Yeah, but if they had the opportunity to do it to this large of a degree, they would. I mean, these guys are no saints themselves.
That's not the point. The point is that they're promoters. The point is that they're saying that this guy who's a manager, okay, should not be acting like a promoter at the same time, because it's just unfair. If you're a manager and you're able to act like a manager and a promoter, you're able to create a monopoly in boxing. That's what they're saying. Now, here's the thing. You know what? If Haymon took every single fighter and just said, yeah, let's make all the best fights happen, then you know what? I probably wouldn't care so much. But it's probably not going to happen. He's not going to have that type of clout. And yesterday you were saying about prove it. Well, they do have a lot of merit, okay? Now, it's going to come down to not really necessarily proving it, but... AB,
why you keep saying they have a lot of merit when it's hearsay? Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence?
Regardless of what they have,
all we had was a complaint.
For 1 second. Regardless of what they have, but AB, hold on for 1 second, please. Okay. Regardless of what they have, right? What is going to be the repercussions of this lawsuit? He pays them off. Wait a minute. He pays them off, and he continues to. Can I just?
No, Beep. That's not the truth. But that's not what they're seeking. I know. Yeah, but what they're seeking is a temporary injunction to.
Well, I read differently. I read
immediately stop business.
I read differently.
But
I read they were seeking damages. I read they were seeking monetary
at
damages.
At the bottom it says that they're seeking $100 million or whatever the judge deems worthy. Okay. So that's what that means. Like, this is what they want doesn't mean that's what they're gonna get.
But my point is
accusing him of.
My point is he'll probably pay. He'll probably have to pay them. I don't think that they'll make him stop doing business. I don't think they'll do that. I think worst case scenario.
Hopefully they don't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, AB. Go ahead. I apologize sincerely.
The way it works in the courtroom is how the judge or the jury interprets
exactly
what the other side is saying. So that's what it's really going to come down to. And that's why they hire these top attorneys. So
yeah, exactly, AB. But they still have to prove, A, that he was blocking events and that he was acting as a manager and a promoter. And I just find it really hard to prove that if you're not a fucking, stopwatch on the wall with a camera or a secret camera in your glasses, how are you going to prove it?
They have documents, they have witnesses, and if there's a pattern and a trend of it happening, continuously happening before big fights, then there's proof right there. But again, it's how the judge interprets what the other side is saying. So if you get a shitty attorney, obviously Haymon's, but like I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if they went ahead and voted, if Top Rank.
We will see, and we will be doing a show on it. AB, I want to thank you for calling in and get to some of the callers. Go ahead,
real quick. My bad. Go ahead, B.
My whole point is, does anybody really think a judge is going to say, Al Haymon, you can no longer put on fights? I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening.
Maybe it'll stop Al Haymon booking venues.
Yeah, I think what they're looking for is to have Haymon decide what he is. That's all they want. They want him to say, I'm a manager, or they want him to say, I'm a promoter. He can't, they don't want him to run around freely. Go ahead, I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, Al Haymon, he's always out of the picture. You never see interviews, and he's a bit like Carlo Gambino, the silent man that creates havoc in the background. And I think if there's a court case coming up, then these lawyers are not stupid. They've got evidence, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm sure Al Haymon.
I just don't know why these fans, right? They listen to us talk about this, right? And this is how I'm imagining it on their end, because what world do you live in that you think someone sat down with Al Haymon, a group of people, obviously, a hedge fund with over $500 million is what they're saying? $500 million is what they're saying, Mario?
More than that. $500,000,000. It's like $2 billion.
Okay, $2 billion. So they gave $2 billion to a dude, right? And they didn't have a backup plan, an exit strategy.
They didn't secure their money. They didn't think, Beeb, that the same rumor we've been hearing for how fucking long now that he's a promoter, he's a manager. No,
4
they
years.
didn't think that he thought this was going to come up. This is what I'm saying. And if he didn't, well, then it's his fault, like it's Oscar De La Hoya's fault, right?
No, and you're right. But look, I just want to make this point real quick, okay? Because I hear exactly what AB's saying, and while I disagree in terms of the legal sense, let's not pretend that Al Haymon isn't a promoter. We know he is. This is foolish for us to, debate this. We know what he's doing is breaking some sort of laws in terms of the way boxing is supposed to be set up. He is a promoter.
But he's covering it up well, Mario.
But he's covering it up, and there's no way you can prove it. You can't prove it. So that's the bottom line is we don't, as hardcore boxing fans, don't have to play stupid. AB is not stupid. That man is not dumb. I've heard him enough times on this show. He is very smart, and I'm not just talking about boxing. So he knows what's going on. Ness, Beeb, we all know what's going on. Haymon has been a promoter for years, and he's kicked it into full gear. But it can't be proven in a court of law, I don't think.
In theory,
yes.
In theory, this case is rock fucking solid, in theory.
Well said.
Kevin Horn, you are right. In theory, in textbook law, Kevin Horn, you are 110% fucking right. But you can't take those textbooks in the courtroom with you, buddy. They got to prove it, and they have to fucking be able to get a judge to be 100%, a judge and a jury to be 100% on their side. I don't think it's going to happen.
Too many interpretations.
Too many interpretations. This guy is too slick. He's just too slippery for somebody to nail him down like that.
Ness said it perfectly.
There's not a man on this planet that's too slippery to get away from the law.
That's true.
I've seen people do it.
There's multi-millionaires in there that have got.
I've seen people do it. I've seen
smarter men than Al Haymon. So
I've seen people do it.
Any man can be caught.
Anybody can be bought too.
Some sort of god that can just.
Anybody can be bought too. When you got enough people in your pocket, man, there's ways to get away with things. Trust me.
All right, so I want to take one chat here. Sean Newton says, Ness, do you think that there would be charges if there's no merit? Well, I could tell you this, that if I happen to be in the same state as any one of you, and I said Mario Munguia assaulted me, he's going to get arrested. That's the way it works. So, charges don't necessarily mean that you're guilty. We're in a country where you're innocent till proven guilty, but technically guilty till proven innocent. Which is what Al Haymon is going through. You guys have made him guilty.
Whether or not it has merit or not is irrelevant. The thing is are they going to convict him? That's the question you need to ask. Who gives a fuck if the case has merit? Okay? Is he going to get convicted?
Even if he settles out of court, Beeb, then he's guilty, isn't he?
Yeah, but if he settles out of court,
he still wins because he still has his fucking show.
Yeah, it won't be the exact damages that they were looking for. But let's get to a caller, 609. I think this might be our boy Fahim. So we're gonna take a wing at it.
You hear me? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Fahim, what up? Why is Robbie messing up your intro? Damn, Robbie. Damn.
You guys are cutting in and out. That's why I picked up the phone to say something, man.
Nah, man, you cutting in and out. We sound fine over here.
Nah, it is breaking up, though. It is breaking up.
Oh, that.
You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Fahim. We hear you clearly.
Yeah, but it's breaking up for me. But anyway, I just wanted to say, I think Jessie Vargas was full of shit, for real. All that shit he said sounded scripted. Like, you know what I mean? He looked at the tape and, you know, answering questions to the reporters and everything. He got his story straight. He knew he lost that fight. You know what I mean? And he thought the guy stopped it. He thought he had a stoppage, and then he realized what really went down. Now he's just pissed off. He don't deserve a rematch. He didn't do nothing that whole fight. He got one lucky punch off. You know what I mean? And he think he's gonna stop Timothy fucking Bradley. I mean, come on, Pacquiao couldn't do it. Provatnov couldn't do it. I mean, you see what he did to Marquez. I mean, come on, stop it, for real. And about this whole Al Haymon thing, man, I'm just so pissed off about this shit, for real. Excuse my language. I mean, they just some fucking haters. They just mad because they're losing. Now they want to try to sue the dude. I mean, that shit is just crazy. I mean, yeah, he is bad for boxing. The way boxing is now, boxing needs to be changed because the boxers take all the risks, yet they don't get the lion's share of the money. Now with Al Haymon, the whole thing is being changed around. Look at Mayweather. He's the prototype now of what all the other boxers are trying to do now. And Oscar De La Hoya and Kathy Duva and Bob Arum, they're all just mad because now they can't keep pimping these boxers anymore because the game is going to be changed. This is how I really feel. This is how I really believe it. And, you know, everybody's talking about Al Haymon and Bob Arum. We're supposed to be the hardcore fans. We're supposed to be the hardcore fans. We're fans of boxers. Nobody's talking about the boxers. The boxers aren't complaining. You know what I mean? And if you get a hard question to Jessie Vargas, casual fan asked you, well, are you jealous of the Haymon fighters? And he's like, nah, I'm not. That motherfucker was lying. He'd want to make that same cash. If he had a chance to jump ship today, he'd do it. They all would do it. They all would do it. All the fighters on Haymon is eating, and everybody else is scrambling for pennies. And that's what it really comes down to, man. And you know, I'm not gonna say what I really want to say because it's an 800-pound gorilla in a room that everybody keeps dancing around. But I know that if it was somebody else, it wouldn't be all this.
No. Whoa. Nothing is never not able to be spoken about on this show. What are you talking about? What 800-pound gorilla?
Bro, I'm just going to leave it at that. You know what I'm saying?
I know where he's going. I know where he's going.
All right, what you say? What'd you say?
He said he want a hint. He said he want a hint just like me. He wants a hint.
I know where he's going. I know exactly
where he's going. Babe? Where's he going?
I'm not going to say it because I don't want to disrespect the guy. I actually kind of agree with him, so I'm not gonna say it. If he doesn't want to say it.
Mario,
I have no idea. I want him to say it.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah. I'll fucking say it.
Go ahead, brother. I apologize.
You know, I really believe that if his name was Joseph Rosenberg or something like that, we wouldn't be going through all this bullshit. You know what I mean? But because it's Al Haymon and he's on his Kaiser Sose, stay in the back, don't talk to the media type shit, you know, and all his fighters are happy. You know what I mean? And they just hate it, man. Oscar's a hoe. And you can say he did what he did, it was underhanded and down low, whatever he did to Oscar. Oscar had the chance to come in at the very beginning of everything. But instead, he wanted to cross-dress and fishnets and smoke crack cocaine. So he lost out, and he lost out on his fights. Shake the scene with a winning hand, where the winning team was at. So that's where he went, and he put all this energy into that. You know what I mean? And that's all I really got to say. That's thing I got to say too.
Fahim is on fire.
I know you're a conspiracy theory like me, Neff, and I'm just saying, y'all just said that these people put up $2 billion with a B into Al Haymon's pocket. Don't be surprised if one of them two guys go buy an airplane crash. That's too much money to be fucking around with, man. For real. And boxing's already a shady sport to begin with. And that's all. That's my spiel. And, you know, keep doing what y'all doing. Next, good looking for playing the drop for me. Hit me up. I mean, I love all y'all. Casual fans, you was on your thing today, my dude. You're not casual no more, my dude, especially after the day. You're not casual no more. You asked the boy the question, he went right in his neck like he was supposed to because he knew he lost that fight. Yeesh.
All right, brother.
Can I say
Fahim on fire.
One quick thing, 2 seconds. You know what a lot of people don't realize about this Oscar De La Hoya, Richard Schaefer whole situation? Richard Schaefer is looking at this, and I'm not saying what he did was right, and there was a little bit of scumbaggery going on here. Okay, we can't deny that. But Richard Schaefer's looking at this and saying, you know, this guy's very unstable. He's not really involved with the business anymore. I'm doing everything. This guy's talking about selling. I got to sit here and think of my future, okay? I got to think of my future. I got to start making moves that are going to benefit me. Now, did he backdoor him? Yeah, but only because he saw the state that Oscar was in, and he didn't feel as though he was fit to run the company. And he proved that he wasn't at that particular time. And look at him now. He lost all his fighters. So at the end of the day, would you really say Oscar De La Hoya is a good promoter, or would you say it was Richard Schaefer all along?
That's a really, really good question, actually. That's
Well,
something that needs to be written on.
Let's pose it to some of these callers here. Go ahead, Robbie.
Beeb, to back up your point, what did Lance Pugmire say yesterday? Richard Schaefer is going to be able to come back to work in boxing in August. What do you bet? He winds up working for Al Haymon and starts promoting fights the way he was at Golden Boy.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you bring that up because I was talking to someone this afternoon about that, and that's what I'm saying about these lawsuits. Look, we thought Schaefer's lawsuit was so serious. Wasn't it for like $50 million? And he settled out, and he could come back to work already.
You know what?
There was a no-compete clause, and everyone was like, "Oh, Schaefer, he's out for good." He's back already.
I know. You know, boxing's dying. Everything's in turmoil. The sky is falling. Get the fuck out of here.
I wrote, and look, I'm gonna toot my own horn because no one else is gonna do it. I wrote that story on Richard Schaefer, and I try to make like the connections between Batman because as he comes back, The Dark Knight Rises. He has a chance to be the good guy, the good guy that is the promoter, and Al Haymon becomes Al Haymon's promoter, but he fights for the fans, making great fights like a promoter should do. Or he lines his pot. He was, yeah, exactly. It's especially towards the end. I mean, excluding Rod Salka, but I think that was more Haymon. At the end of the day, he has that chance to be a good guy and fight for us as the promoter, and that would settle all this stuff with Haymon. We wouldn't have to worry about this stuff anymore. But at the same time, he could make the decision to just do what he says.
It's like anything else. If you work for a company and you see the company starting to sink, don't you jump over to the competitor if you want to keep yourself viable and you want to keep making money to support your family?
I don't understand. Why are we biased? Because we do not think that PBC is a bad thing.
I love PBC because it's giving.
But why are you biased? Why are you biased because of that? How does that make you biased?
I love the fights.
No, Beeb, what I'm asking is...
Why am I biased? Because you know why, Ness? Because you got everyone else out there who have to complain about something. Boxing fans are the most negative fucking creatures on the planet. A guy knocks somebody out, you know what they say? Oh, well, he knocked him out, but the guy was still breathing after you knocked him out. He wasn't knocked out cold.
The guy was a bum.
He should have put him in a coma. That would have been a real knockout.
The guy was a bum in the first place.
People are never fucking happy. You know what I'm saying? They're just never happy.
You're right. I'm telling you, I think we need to abolish this chat. Just abolish the chat.
They're the worst fans in the world, these fucking boxing fans. They hate everything. Why even watch the fucking sport? I'm an optimist.
Supposed to be the voice of the people.
Yeah, but we've been getting shunned over here, man. They're whipping us verbally. 225, you're up. Who's this? Who? Keith, talk to us. Get your phone out your pocket, man.
I got it. It's been a while since I called in, but I just wanted to say, since when does a fighter lose by TKO and somehow they won by TKO?
What fight are we talking about here?
Yeah, the caller called in like last, I think Sunday. He was talking about the Angulo fight. He was talking about the Bradley fight. And he was saying that Bradley got knocked out by Chavez. And then if you look at the Laura fight, Laura got knocked out by Angulo. And I don't understand, like, how can Laura knock Angulo out? And you still say Angulo knocked Laura out?
I don't understand that either, but maybe I didn't hear it properly when he said it.
He lost me.
I didn't understand that either, because when the caller brought that up, if they watched the Bradley Chavez fight, it didn't end in a draw. There was no knockdowns. So I don't know what he was talking about.
You know, I just find that crazy, man. The boxing fans, they so fighters lose that they call in even when the guy wins to say he still lost, that he took a little punishment. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you're talking about Suleiman. Yes, yes.
Suleiman, yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, I mean, I asked him the same thing. He didn't even want to eat his crow. Somebody had to remind us. And that's whack.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be real quick. I think Jessie Vargas should really appreciate the fact that the referee stopped that fight, because he wasn't gonna get the knockout, but now it gives him like a branch to hang from. So now he could say, "Oh, I could have got the knockout. I would have got the knockout." I think most people know he would have not gotten the knockout. I mean,
it's an exit strategy, man. He's still a marketable Mexican welterweight the Top Rank needs. Listen, 225, I know you haven't called in a while, but this is drive-by mode. It's 10:30. We're 30 minutes into drive-by. We got to get to a couple of other callers here. 951, who's this? Where you calling from?
What's up, Boxing Voice? El compa de Los Ángeles.
Compa!
Arriba la raza.
I'm right here stuck in traffic. What's up, Nestor? What's up, B? Stuart Little, Robbie, who else? Mario. Is James on? What's up, James?
Orale!
Nah, James is working late tonight.
Orale.
Yeah. Well, I'm right here stuck in traffic, but what was I gonna say? But yeah, man, I don't know. Jessie Vargas. I mean, it was I had Bradley winning, you know, just like everybody else. I don't want to see the rematch.
Let those strong hands go, dog.
I don't know, Suleiman. I don't know, man. He says the funniest shit, man, but he's a good caller. But hey, what else were we talking about?
So compa, you've been listening and you don't know what we were talking about? You serious? You serious?
Nah, man. Nah. I've been in traffic, man. That's why, you know. So
What?
I just had
That's the best time to listen. You ain't got nothing to do but listen.
Nah, hey, we don't have any fights this week, though. No.
Yeah, we do. It's just nothing out of this world. I could find them for you. Hold on.
Yeah, and I don't know what's up with that lawsuit. You know, I think it's bullshit, but you know that's the way the business is. Richter Schaefer is a snake. And that's all we got to say, baby. PBC, baby. PBC.
Just tell your parents just hi.
Hey, Stuart.
Stewart's gone, brother. Stewart's gone. It's like 6 a.m. over there in the UK. Let me get to some other callers. Compa, thank you for calling in. 813, you're up. Who's this?
Yo, this is Randall from Tampa.
Randall.
Hey man, how we gonna hook up when y'all come down for the fight?
Vic's already booked, man. I'm still rolling the dice. I'm trying to get a cheaper flight, man. You know I'm a travel on a budget. I couldn't find nobody to take the ride with me, man. I really wanted to roll down the highway in my Camaro, but I ain't got no friends, man. They suck.
Well, hey, I got a couple questions for the panel. Oh, before I get into it, welcome back, B.
Thank you, brother.
I want to holler at you since you've been back, man. It's good
Thank you, man.
back on the show.
Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. Hey, I got a couple questions. So, it's okay for networks to kind of promote, right? Yes or no?
I would say it is okay because HBO's been doing it, Showtime's been doing it. Every network does it. Even Buxino and ESPN have done it. Everyone sells a fighter. Like I remember Hank Lundy being pushed big time on ESPN, and we all see Golovkin.
No. When I say kind of promote, I mean it's okay for two networks to show.
Oh yeah, they've done it. They've done it. Most recently, I guess the biggest one is Canelo and Julio Cesar Chavez, both being in Las Vegas on the same day.
Okay, so it's also okay for HBO to block Haymon fighters, right? Is that okay?
HBO.
Yeah, if they want to hurt their business.
Well,
yeah.
HBO has made an announcement that they would. Remember, they made an announcement they wouldn't deal with Golden Boy and with Haymon. So now they deal with Haymon. I mean, with Golden Boy, but not necessarily with Haymon. But What's the president's name? Hirschman did tell me personally that he's open to talking, especially for Wilder and certain fighters.
Okay, so it's also okay for Duva to force a purse bid and pull out, right?
I mean,
Is
I wouldn't
that okay?
I wouldn't say it's
that-
fair. I wouldn't say it's fair, but it happened.
Okay. All right. So now one more thing: is it okay for Bob Arum to say his fighters make a certain purse, but when they file their paperwork with the commission, they being paid something else? Is that okay too? Is that an okay practice?
Doesn't sound right to me.
I mean, because they got this lawsuit against Al Haymon saying that they're paying fighters more than what they said they were paying them, but I thought it was common practice in Top Rank to pay their fighters less than what they're reporting. But it's okay though. That's okay practice, right?
Some people think it is. I don't.
So I just want to know why it's not okay for Al Haymon to make it hard for his competitors. If all these other practices is cool in boxing, why is it not okay for Haymon to squeeze the market? Everybody else tried to squeeze him. I mean, what's the big deal?
Because it's hypocrisy.
No, it's not even hypocrisy. It's because he's being successful. See, when Top Rank was on their high and they were making all the in-house fights, and that phrase was invented through Top Rank. Phrases like in-house and marinate. It was all good. It was all good. When Oscar was running around, like Mario brought up yesterday, saying, "Oh, I like what Dana White is doing. Boxing needs one guy." It was all good. It was all good. Now Haymon took both of their ideas, mixed it in with a little bit of Don King, watered it down with a little American Gladiator and MMA, and voila, PBC is born, and he's the bad guy. That's how I see it. I don't know. I mean, but I'm just a rider.
Hey, but listen to this. I've read what Dan Raphael has said, that in the past, Top Rank had ran like the ESPN boxing platform for years. It was called Top Rank Boxing, I guess, on ESPN. And he had all the in-house fights. He didn't let other promoters in. And he let fights over-marinate and shit and just gave a real piss-poor product until ESPN just finally got tired of it.
Randall, you know what's the difference, Randall? This is the difference, right?
Yeah.
They would be okay with it if Haymon's pockets weren't endless. But because his pockets right now seem to be endless, they feel they can't compete. See, in the past when Top Rank was being bold and doing what you're speaking of, Golden Boy could still compete. Lou DiBella would still get a show here and there. But when you're offering a package as complete as Haymon, it may not be complete to us hardcores. Some of the guys in the chat may say PBC is shit. But to a network, to get all those fighters regularly on call, they're happy with it.
Hey, I got one final point to make. All right, so damn, I forgot that quick. All right, man, y'all guys take it easy, man. Y'all have a good night.
Randall, you've been wonderful, brother. Thanks for calling in with some great points there. 954, you're up. 954, you're up. 954, going once, gone. Listen, I want to remind everybody, press that like button. Do not fail me. Don't let me down. I'm going to be in Tampa. Vic's already booked. I'm waiting for the cheapest flight possible. I want to see some Boxing Voice shirts out there. I'm trying to get you guys some free PBC tickets to give away and everything, but we got to show these people that we mean business. And, what better way than every time they look around and see a boxing van with a TBB shirt? I mean, we got so many different designs. James is doing an awesome job over there. We got Signature Series, Big Drama Show Series. We about to do some more, so you need to head on over to the boxingvoice.com store and cop a shirt. If not, get a hat. Do something. Support. Keep the lights on over here. And remember, keep those donations coming in. $1 per listener is all I'm asking for because it will help us keep the lights on, obviously, man, We can't do it alone. 954 we went to, so we're going to 409.
What up, JD?
Danny Jacobs.
A few things, man. Now I wanted to talk about the most exciting thing to me, man, this week is that Creed movie. You know what I'm saying? A lot of boxing movies. They should make a lot more boxing movies. And I want to ask y'all a question because I think Peterson should have a movie. That'll be an interesting story. Kovalev got an interesting story, and Lara has an interesting story. I want to ask y'all, because y'all know more fighters, like who has the most interesting story to where you can be like, damn, that should be a movie.
Provodnikov.
Before you answer that, let me say.
Oh, my bad.
Who?
I said Provodnikov, but my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I would say Mayweather. I mean, that's the typical American dream. He came from nothing. His parents were listen, he came from nothing. He came from the bottom. His father went to jail. He made it against all adversity. He made it.
That's a guaranteed movie one day for sure.
Rigondeaux's a good movie too, man. They actually did a documentary on him.
Yeah, but that's all I pretty much had. I wanted to pick Herrera because, like I said, Lundy, he's always disappointing.
It's not that time, baby. It's not that time. That fight's not till like the 17th, right?
11th.
No, 11th.
Oh, okay.
That's on the 11th.
Oh, that's gonna be the same night as Keith Thurman? Well,
Yeah,
don't worry,
it's on the
guys,
same
because
day.
the boxing voice, we continue to grow, and we obviously have Fernando Pimentel. He's going to be over there. I don't know. I wonder how that's going to work. We're both trying to do Periscope, huh? Because I'm going to be doing Periscope. You better follow me on Periscope. Actually, not me, Boxing Voice on Periscope, if you want that hot shit. We got to all our callers, so no one can complain because we did it. And you know what?
Tell them Large Marge sent ya.
That's right. It's still no out, Ness, the Rigo doc. Oh, it's still not. That's supposed to say not. Jesus, Michael Reedman, what's going on? Not out. Okay, still not out. Yeah, but I know the guy that did that documentary. He did our intro video on YouTube with the Rihanna thing. Yeah, he did that for us. Let me see if I got it. It's I don't know where it's at. But all right, guys, we got to all our callers. So if you got any final thoughts, if not, we could get up out of here.
I'm good. All great interviews today. The Showtime guys, I'm really looking forward to that ShoBox. Those three guys were great. Adam is super funny. Derek was awesome, and Antoine Douglas is inspired, man. That guy's such an inspiring guy. He's so young too.
Yeah, that's a good story, bro. I mean, again, moving him really, really fast. I hope that doesn't cause any issues, any hiccups. He's already got that draw. In a tough fight, but we've only seen Soro with him and with Glenn Tapia, so we just don't know how far Soro is going to go. We don't know what that draw is going to be, but he seems, like you said, very motivated to make his own path in his own way. I just hope that because of the rough upbringing, he's not rushing to success for financial gain and end up not getting that financial gain because he ruined the record that comes with those big fights.
You wanted American heavyweight champion, and you guys got it. You wanted boxing back on network television, and you guys got it. Why the fuck are you complaining about it now? PBC for life, Daddy.
Because, Beeb, they're sort of losers. They don't know how to compete with him. They're jealous of what he's able to do.
Talking about the
Nobody
fan
else
problem.
thought of it.
I'm talking
That's
about
exactly
the
what the problem is here.
I'm talking about the fans.
Squared Circle in the chat asks real quick one fighter to watch right now. Watch out for or watch on TV? I'm going to say watch out for. To me, it's always going to be Joel Diaz until he's finally on our TV. But since he's not on TV, Sammy Vasquez. Vasquez. I've been saying Sammy Vasquez too. I ain't getting no fucking credit. People jumping on his nuts.
You did. You did for a long time.
I'm going to say Gilberto Ramirez. I like that kid.
I say Lee Selby, even though it's kind of hard because he's been getting some push. Lee Selby's, man, that dude's good.
I like Gilberto Ramirez. I'm sorry.
Man,
that's
Beeb,
shaking his head.
I think Beeb's playing around with that one.
You don't like him? I like
him. He's a good kid. I like him.
Yeah, he's a good kid. That's about it. All right, let's do some shout out. We haven't done no shout outs from the chat in a long time. We're gonna go to What the Streets Created, The Rich Kid, Dave the Sinister, Sean Newton, Michael Reedman, Wrath of Boxing, fucking this hater that I swear I'm gonna block you eventually, dude. I'm trying to be bigger than you. Mander Grofel, whatever. He doesn't even know how to have a real fucking screen name. Nobody here. Squared Circle, Curtis Cooper, Amos Mulford, Hex Per, Swift Hands, Gustavo Pina, Dennis Menace, Tom Jacks, and Black Prophet. Yeah, a lot of repeats here. Sorry, guys. All right, well, whatever. We shouted out a few of you guys, man. Listen, I'm your host, NES GTO. Follow us on Twitter at The Boxing Voice. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on IG, also known as Instagram. And jump on the new fad, ride that wave on the Periscope gang, because I'm coming. July 11th, I'll be in the building out there. I think it's the Sun Dome or Sun something, but I'm going to be in the sunny state, Sunshine State, that is. And we're going to get some Periscope going. We're going to try this new equipment out. We're going to be in New York City in August. Beeb is coming. Mario's coming. Hopefully James comes. It's going to be a party. Once again, I'm joined alongside Mario Munguia at Mario Munguia on Twitter, of course, and at JHabib1 on Twitter. You guys gave any final thoughts? Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Just the ShoBox thing. I'm good at that.
What ShoBox thing?
Just that the kids on that we had on for the ShoBox on July 17th were great today.
Yeah, all interviews were great, man. Gina, you were wonderful. Somehow
awesome.
we got through 4 interviews and all our callers. So, thank you guys. Beep.
The best.
Support PBC, please.
There you have it, man. We'll see you guys. What's today? Thursday? So we'll see you Sunday. Laters.
Peace.
Thank you for using